Hi, Cynthia Schiller. Hi, Soul Survivors. We're going to go live again. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully, you guys join in on me and let's just get the ball rolling. So, I've been thinking, I had a couple of things I wanted to cover. The narcissist, can they be uh, a people pleaser? And sometimes this gets people in trouble. What's the difference between a people pleaser and also a narcissist? Can they be both? Can they only be one? So narcissists, that's kind of a lot of what goes on is they do tend to be people pleasers in the moment. And this is where it gets different, that in the moment they're people pleasers until they just get sick of it. Because a people pleaser, just a people pleaser, is somebody who's going to get continue to give. And it gets tricky because there are times that a people pleaser will see that they're being used and they know that they need to remove themselves from that situation. So it goes a little deeper with the narcissist on how they treat you. Like if you think about it, a people pleaser really would be doing as much as they could for you, where they have a hard time saying no. And narcissists want to be liked. And so there are times that they can have a hard time. But if you think about it, of some of the things that you asked about, was it within their realm? Were you over asking? Um, there's differences in just how people interact. Sometimes people think their way, and I talk about these 4 different personalities that were in this personality test that I took, and the way people interpret things. So I'm going to relate it to this one story I heard where it was a worker who had worked the entire career, like she was in her teenage years, like a young teenage, like 14 or something. And she worked up to like 72 or 68, somewhere in there, but just like forever and ever. And not once did she take a day off. So she got a perfect attendance award for, I don't know, 50, 60 years worth of work. But we see that as, wow, she's really committed to her job. Now, those are our facts. But do we know all the facts? Do we know maybe she's showing up every day because she has an abusive spouse who she wants to get away from? Or is she paying the bills and is afraid to take a day off because she's too poor? So perception matters. And a lot of it is that's why we're trying to find out. Hi, Pete. Good to see you. I was just telling a story where this one person had worked, I don't even know, 60, 70 years, never took a day off. Feel free to type in the chat. Let me know if there's something I can help you with. It's so good to see you. And as I'm waiting on, if you have a chat for me. So this person, it's all perception. Were they committed to the job? Were they hiding from something? Were they too broke to take a day off? Are they a people pleaser? So when we're talking to somebody, it's hard to connect sometimes because we could even meet that lady and we're like, that's really great, you never took a day off, and we're not really connecting with them because maybe there's some underlying issue. So narcissism, there are underlying issues, and I relate it to the kids at school, the way that the kids act. um, Sometimes they can lie with a flat effect. Like today, I had a really rough, QC, I had a really rough day. I even worked extra. But I had, what grade were they? Kindergarten. I teach kindergarten through 4th grade, but I had the kindergartners there and they were horrible. It was like so bad. And so finally I'm like, freeze. And 5 out of probably 24, 26 students, 5 of them were in their seat. So I rewarded the 5, and I'm a little tired today. You can even see I usually don't write notes on my hand, but I did today. So I reward the 5, and I'm like, you, and you go over by my desk. Now the kids don't listen. And even with a reward, the one didn't listen. She heard me but didn't get up. I told her where to go, and another girl just snuck in there, and I'm like, this kid's always trouble. And I'm like, ah. I remember there was one kid that was always trouble, but he was good, so he got a sucker. um but she flat out took the sucker. I'm like, were you in your seat? Yes. And so then afterwards, I like, you could tell that she was like, this sixth kid comes up to me and she's like, I didn't get my sucker for sitting in my seat. And that girl is always good. And so I knew two of them were. Three, I remember that third one was the troublemaker. So there's two left. And, I'm like, it's either this one or the one with the sucker. And I could have remembered wrong. And just the way that the kid was lying, still sucking on her sucker, knowing this other girl's going to miss out. Oh, hi, Chloe. Hiya, you're 5. Oh, I'm glad you're a good girl. And we have to follow directions, otherwise things get difficult. So, Chloe, you might be in kindergarten. I'm an art teacher at my school. So, yeah, it's good to follow directions. And I was telling the kids today, when we don't follow directions, things fall apart. And a lot of times, narcissists don't like to follow rules. It's something in their brain, and it's really hard to grasp what really is going on, but it is through the mind of a child. Intellectually, they're very smart, but emotionally it's different. And trying to explain a connection, how do they not have a connection? We can't process that, and they can't process it in reverse. I have a lot asking, if can the narcissist change? That's like me saying, why don't you change? Why don't you change your attitude, deal with it, suck it up, and like it? it it's just not something you just do. Um, During times of stress, we kind of revert back to our childhood. Um, I noticed it's real interesting how the healthy, what seems to be the emotionally healthy kids, um, they're quiet, they're settled, they can handle it, even at age 5. But the ones that come from more difficult backgrounds, and not everybody they sometimes they'll blame the children on the parents. It's not always both parents' fault. Sometimes there are some genetic things that go on with children, ADHD. There's different kinds of traumatic brain injuries through birth, or a lack of oxygen, maybe during a trauma, closed head, even open head, or yeah, open head injuries can change the brain and how we think, the processing things, the connections. Um, Pete, are you dealing with a narcissist? You've been squashed. You squashed your teacher's nose today. Uh-oh. What if it stays that way? Then your teacher won't be able to breathe. So, Chloe, I'm going to ask you, should we keep our hands to ourselves? Yeah. Yeah, kids are fun though. I love kids. And they let you feel young, but it's hard when you're in an adult relationship with somebody like that, because you know we need adult conversations sometimes. Um, and the connection's different. It's you know people have difficulty processing, how did they never love me, or did they love me? And the depth goes, hello, there's my daughter Rashama. Something like that. I don't even know my daughter's name. Rashama. Oh, I didn't look it up. I'm sorry. Rashama, I think. We're going to do this again today. So good to see you bringing gifts of love. Um, but we're talking about the narcissist. Feel free to let me know. There's Wheeler Nathan. Oh, we got the whole gang going. Let's see if John joins in with us too. We got Pete Bowen here as well. I'm not sure if you guys can let me know. This is what, my 4th one. If you guys can see each other's chats, I think you can. But when I record it, I have to pay extra, I think. So I don't think it's showing up on my recording. So I'll kind of read out what you guys are saying because this will be recorded. But the connection sometimes feels like to them just like a passing person in the gas station. You know, a psychopath might want to kill that person. I learned something very cool today, that you know the difference between psychopath and sociopath. It changes their the way they smell certain things. And yeah, I'll tell you what, the abuse can make you feel terrible. It changes your chemical balance, and we want to get back to that state of normalcy. And so that then we start questioning us sometimes based on the abuse. We try to get out of it, we try to handle it, but when we walk on eggshells, like it feels like nothing's working. Sometimes too it feels like it's even getting worse. um so uh what's the worst part about it, Rashima? Yes, Wheelie Nathan. Oh, you retracted it. No, you better tell me. Keeping secrets from me. You narcissist. I'm just teasing. But it's, uh, uh, um, you know, like right now, if I said, you know, I'm sending money to the Ethiopians so they can get food, like that's a loving gesture. But I don't know one single one of them. And I can do things, but the depth of the love, you know, it could be self-serving. I want to do that. It could be a tax write-off, like whatever. But I'm talking about the connection. You care about things, um, and that's the depth is what I'm trying to say. Some of us have a strong bond to certain um, charities, but I'm trying to say just a general thing, like, oh, I got, I don't know, extra $5,000 I had to donate, or I have to pay taxes on it. So you donate, that one's fine. So you, and that's kind of like with the narcissist, the depth um, doesn't keep the connection going. It doesn't keep the connection. Um, Successful at healing or successful at something else in life. Okay, so yeah, that's rumination, where she says the pain just harasses my mind, and I like that you worded it as harassment, because we try to focus and our own mind is harassing us. You know, we're like, I'm going to do this today and I'm going to clean the house. um, you know, I'm going to go watch a movie with my friend. You're watching the movie, you start thinking about that person, it bombards your head. And you know, it does get better. Like today I had a busy day and I feel a lot more vibrant. um, but those ruminating is just those intrusive thoughts, and we have to fight back. Don't, that's what's going to keep you. There's that 5 stages of grief. If you don't fight back on that depression, you'll get stuck, and then if you get stuck you might get angry. So when you get stuck, you have to purposefully change your life, and I'll talk about that in like half a second. um so when you're stuck, you're either going to succeed, because the last step is acceptance. You have to accept what is. You have to accept what you can't answer, and that's real hard. Or you're going to go back to being angry or bargaining. Like, you know, if I cut my hair, do you think maybe then he'd like me more? Or if only I work out, get a better body. Like, we're going to start flip flopping between the stages. When you're in depression, that's a good sign. It's a good sign when you're in depression. That's when you're going to choose. You can either go forward towards the last step of acceptance, or you're going to flip flop. So if you're in depression, be happy about that, because that's, you know, the fourth step. And hi, Wheeler Nathan. Go ahead and let me know if you're just saying hello or if you have a question or comment. So yes, you're welcome for coming on today, because I know what it's like. I get it. And there's times it messes with your head, your life, your friends. You start avoiding people, so now you're in deeper isolation. Try not to drink because that's going to make it worse. It's not going to make it better. It's not going to numb it. So oftentimes too, that's when you're going to lash out at somebody, whether it's your ex, either trying to win them back or trying to bitch them out. Do all narcissists? No, good. Do all narcissists go through the same cycles all the time? There's different. I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to touch on, be careful of some of this information that you're getting on the web. There is some crappy information and there's some really good stuff. But I see in all these comments, like I'm really good at seeing different perspectives, trying to understand. I don't have to agree with it. But just the way people perceive things and don't understand. So there's a lot of toxicity in just the way we talk. But the cycles are the same. Now, there's different levels. There's a narcissist or somebody who is narcissistic, or somebody who should be diagnosed or is diagnosed with NPD. There's extremes. There are extremes. Just think about like heavy people. How fat are they? I said heavy. Your mind might think 250. Somebody else's mind might think a 800-pound person. So narcissist has a variation like that. Um, they can be morbidly obese, 300 pounds to 800, 900. There's variations like that. What's going to be harder on the body? The 900 pounds is going to be harder on the body and a shorter lifespan, most likely. Compare that to the narcissistic cycle. Some can last longer with their new supplies. The lifespan, just like the lifespan of the heavy person, the lifespan of the relationship can make a difference. Also, with this new supply, how healthy are they? Because you have an 800-pound person who's 30 years old, and you have a 300-pound person who's 30 years old. Who's gonna live longer? We don't know. It depends on other circumstances, like are they diabetic? Do they have a blood clot? Do they need dialysis? All these different kinds of things. And the new supply is a part of the health and prediction of the lifespan of the relationship. And, are they previously divorced? Are they bringing that to the table? Each relationship changes us, especially when it's abusive. If it's a loving relationship, it builds us up. That's why you see people who have it doesn't, I don't know. But there is that nice narcissistic abuse cycle where they had that love bombing stage, and it's not always gifts. It could be just, oh, of course I'll come over. They just can't handle the downtime, don't want to be alone. When they're alone, they have problems and they lash out. But when they're with the people, they lash out. I noticed for me today, being so busy, it was a better day. That's why they want to stay busy. They call it supply. So yeah, I had supply. I feel really good when I teach English as a second language. So I stayed after and I teach these Japanese people English. So I'm interacting with them. I get to be animated. That's something about me. I like to be animated, moving. And there's a connection. Like, it feels good. So I had a good day today. And there's something about the narcissist. There is something to their defense mechanisms because we're working on ourselves. But to me, the narcissist, a lot of times, It's the lies, that twist, just like that little girl with that one sucker. I'm giving out 5 suckers. She takes it. It affects this person. Like, is that big of a deal that she has a sucker? It's not that big of a deal. They're super cheap. But if it's going to take away from someone else because she lied, they're hurting people all along the way, and they get what they wanted. They didn't deserve it. Uh, oh, you're fine. Don't worry. Uh, oh, my discard video. Um, yeah, the discard. They definitely go through different cycles. Feel free to help me out. I was telling you I'm so tired. I'm writing on my hand because I can't think today. But you know, um, the discard. It happens a lot of times overnight. Let me look up my notes real quick because I wanted to address this. There is something called monkey branching, and I'm going to coin the term. I don't think anybody else out there has this term, reverse monkey branching, um, because they also don't let go. Like, we're on their minds, and a lot of times it's like a backup. Um, so we're going through a CPTSD response, but what was I wanted to bring up? I will be talking about like the attachment disorder. We start getting an anxious attachment disorder, but during that discard, they monkey branch. They won't fully leave until they go to this new supply, and it's either easier or whatever, because during that cycle, it's not as pleasant for either party. And so they, instead of working on it, because we love each other through, till death do us part, it's like, screw this. Um, and I was seeing something about how after the CPTSD, we can become narcissistic. We can. We're dismissive to, like, sit down. Oh my God, why did I just yell at my kid that way? We're on edge. We're going through some stuff. So we start like, no, but she just wanted to say, I love you, mommy, good night. That we have to be careful that we don't hurt somebody else. Hi, Donna. Good to see you. And we're right now talking about the discard. Feel free to type away. Let me know any questions or comments you have. But Wheeler Nathan was asking about the commenting on my discard video that really helped. Wheeler, let us know some of the things that helped you, some key points. And Rashima, if you're still there, feel free to type away too. Um, and I think she had to go, but the discard is so painful because a lot of times they reassure you that they're going to stay. Either they'll be like, go fuck yourself and die, or go kill yourself. And then, I love you. But that's in that devaluation stage. But the discard is often ghosting, and it's not, you know, um, there's a difference between just not replying to someone. Like I've had guys like hit me up on Facebook that I have never met, and it gets scary. From my perspective, my life, I've had a gun held to my head before, not by one of my partners, but I've had a gun held to my head. My degree's in criminal justice. I've studied different gangs, and like I know what's out there. My ex is a state cop, so I know his stories, and and she can't. Yeah, when you went no contact, but you let her back in too, though, right? Um, that's the thing. That's where our power is. Once we give them the power, that's we're letting you know. if there's pollution, like severe pollution, some toxic thing going around right now, I can leave my door closed. The toxins are on the outside. I open my door. I let the person in, or I let the toxins in. It's going to infiltrate my house. And I wanted to use that as an analogy. So let's say I let this toxic smoke, which is in relation to our toxic person, if they haven't changed anything, um, just like smoke coming in your house. Okay, first it's really strong, and then infiltrates through all the different levels of your house, and then you don't even smell it anymore. You become what do they call it, nose blind to it, and we get into that nose blind thing as far as sniffing out the toxicity in our relationship. And we let our guards down sometimes. There's different levels of narcissism. Not all have NPD. And it's, based on like the stressors, the reactions, the reasons they lie. They're, they're not all violent, they're all different. And with all the things that are out in the web, we have to be careful that, is this is where it gets crazy. Is it just a liar? Is the person I'm with just a liar? Well, I told you that sucker analogy. Okay, this girl lied. Everything else is perfect. This person missed out because of it. That person got hurt. Is it that big of a deal? No, but what if it's something deeper than that? You know? Um, so, Donna, feel free to let us know if you need anything. But yeah, so, and that's the thing when they go no contact. Um, during after that discard, you go no contact, and they're curious what you're up to, and it's kind of like parents, how parents are like, oh, it's quiet, they're up to something. Like you can hear your kid, the sound of them. Oh, they're slamming the I don't know, dollhouse door closed, or what the different sounds are. They're banging on the toy kitchen. You can tell what it is, but all of a sudden when it goes quiet, that's when parents are like, something's up. So the narcissist is like, what's going on? And that's when they come to investigate. And they might do a behind closed doors that they're watching you. You might not even know it, whether it's through watching you on the web, watching you in person, stalking your house. Hello, Minnesota. Andrew, good to have you join us. Feel free to type and let me know if there's anything I can help, or if you'd like to comment. But Wheeler Nathan, you really, it seems like you really like my discard video. So if that's something for you guys, definitely check it out. Feel free to let me know the topics you want to talk about. But the discard can happen out of nowhere, and it hurts because sometimes they reassure you or they don't explain it. Um, there's all different types, all different situations. And I love hearing that you love my videos. Thank you. I got some good news. I just got an email today of somebody wanting me to join their podcast. So starting to get noticed a little bit, which is kind of nice because definitely have to spread awareness. And the other thing too, there was a self-aware narcissist who had said that he was a narcissist. And people are like, yeah, you're just doing that to get views. You're not really a narcissist. And he was like, it's kind of ironic. Like, I want attention, so I'm doing it, but I'm not a narcissist because I want attention. He shared his diagnosis. He is a narcissist. How does, oh, sometimes a hassle. How do they look at people with autism? Um, Yeah, give me a second on that one, Andrew. I want to definitely touch on that. Let me do Donna first, and then Andrew will get into that. Donna, the reverse discard, BS. Yeah, it's a lot of BS on her. So he could be the victim again. Yeah, yeah. A lot of times, um, Oh, so crazy. I've seen people either do that or want to do it. That they don't have the balls to break up with you, and they will make your life hell so you leave. So Donna, I am so that's extra abuse you didn't need to endure. And then when he goes out to the family, he doesn't have to say I was an asshole. I left Donna or my person, and they get more like, oh my gosh, like she left you. Are you devastated? Oh, I'll bring dinner over and we could talk about it. Like he's getting uh, more supply, and they don't think through things. So they come back when the supply runs out. You think about people after the death of a loved one, everybody's there, and people just kind of trickle out, and the person who's mourning is going to start getting sad. um, and you know it's different. The supply kind of puts a mask, the energy, the people around. That's why the narcissist, when they're in need of supply, but he just wanted to be the victim because he didn't want to take accountability. He didn't want to say, I've been an asshole for the past however many months or years. She won't let me see the kids. Donna, I don't know enough about your situation. Feel free to let me know, or you can keep it private. But uh, that reverse discard, a lot of times you see it falling apart, and you start trying harder. And then they start taking advantage of, or even just like either out loud or underhanded, are laughing at you. Like, they might even tell a buddy, like, watch, I can get her to do this. And sometimes too, you think about it, if they wanted the house painted, you know, uh, in that kind of situation, the narcissist, knowing they want to get rid of you, um, they can make you're walking on edge, and they can take advantage of it. Like, I don't know, maybe we should work on it, but I'm unsettled because we never finished this project. And so then you're going to go paint the house. And they're like, yeah, she painted my house. I don't have to do it now. And there's Samantha joining us too. Good to see you. We got Wheeler Nathan back and Samantha. And who else is here? Oh my goodness, we got lots of people. Rashama's here with us again. So Pete's still joining us, but we're talking about the reverse discard. And Samantha, you might want to kind of listen to this too. The reverse discard, sometimes that's what happens, is sometimes they purposely make your life hell. I don't know where you are with that. Um, oh, it's not always sex. It is not always sex. We can play with ourselves if we want to. Um, it's like the dopamine hit. That's all it is. Um, Somebody just, whatever's important to them. Uh, it's not always sex. It's, wow, you are the best at this. So they can try out for a play and get the winning lead, and that'll tide them over for a little while. They can brag about that. Do you want to go out and celebrate? Or they hope that people come and like, oh my gosh, dude, let me buy you a beer. Like, it's not always sex. It's just, you're great. You are great. And when they're not getting, you are great, then they're going to, sometimes it's about money. Sometimes people are like, I just want to look fashionable. And they don't really know what they want. So it's not always about sex. And sex, sadly, nowadays, especially with phone apps and stuff, you can have somebody at your house half hour. So we don't always know what people are doing. There is, let's be real, there's masturbation. Some narcissists too, this is the thing, they're not so into the contact. So with the emotional connection, why not just do it yourself? I've known some it's offered to them. They don't take any steps towards it. They want it to come there. There's no compromise in it. It's weird. But they all, and I will touch on your autism. If they all narcissists don't cheat, okay. I think that's what's happening. And that's the thing too. Sometimes it's not even thought out. It's like a subconscious little get rid of the bitch. And because I had mine, um, um, they make you go through more pain than you need to, whether they're going to get rid of you or not. But I had mine knowing he was going to contact me, but made me wait an extra week. It was his, I was going to talk to you on your birthday. It's like, then I've been crying for how long, and you still made me. It's different if you're still processing it. Like, I don't know if I should call her or not, but you make me wait an extra week. So that was leaving me in pain for that extra week. The autistic, and it's going to vary with age. It's just in a general rule. People who are autistic, and depends, there's so many different levels of autism. Um, they don't have compassion for it. They'll get irritated. Uh, Sometimes, depending on the person, that's an easy target sometimes. And it's so sad. The autistic people I know, um, either, oh, there's something really special about them. You can see there's something really special. They are in. It seems like, and I'm trying to be, from my experiences, they just really like rules, and narcissists break the rules. So an autistic person, once they're kind of told the rules, kind of makes sense to them in a sense. And this is my security. They want that secure world. They want that routine. They want to know what to expect. And it's the opposite of the narcissist. Narcissists can be spontaneous. Some of them are really good with consistency with jobs, but not with relationships. And the autistic person, um, unfortunately, can be either overlooked, dismissed, or abused. And I see that in the school system. Uh, it's because, and when I say with the school system, it's because trauma creates things in our brain. There are things that you are born with that cause brain damage, um, differences in thinking. I started doing some research today on in the womb type things. And hi, John. We got the whole gang here. Um, Today was bad. Oh, Samantha, what happened today? Let us know. And John says that narcissists are very sneaky. They are good at faking life. And that's a lot of it, too. They, there's different, between the grandiose and vulnerable. Um, the grandiose are going to be more of the people pleasers. We started talking about that. Not all people pleasers are narcissists, and not all narcissists are people pleasers. But the more grandiose is going to want to please people, um, because it gets their way, but and vulnerables, are demanding. And sometimes too, I read this thing about different rock stars, whether it's country or rock or whatever, but they demand these certain color M&Ms be taken out. And I think it was a rock band. And they said, oh, they're just picky, like, they're trying to control us. And for them, they're saying that it's like a test. Like, if you can't take the time to take all the red or all the green, attention to detail. Everybody always says red. I don't want the green. If you can't take every green, then you're not going to be protective of me. You're not going to pay attention to detail. And they use it as a test. Narcissists often like to do things as a test. So is that rock band trusting somebody they don't know? Are they, is that legitimate for them to ask? Or is it just wasting somebody's time? Are they so special that there's all these different dynamics? And yeah, they're good at faking life, or they just want what they want. So, and Andrew, I'd like to help you too if you need something specific. But as far as the autistic and the narcissist, somebody with autistic can also have a comorbid personality disorder like narcissism, but it does not make it similar, related, etc. So there are a lot of narcissists that in no way, shape, or form aren't autistic. Um, so sometimes, they, it depends. The comorbidity is where it gets really confusing. Um, you know, Sometimes narcissism might be misdiagnosed as Asperger's. I had a friend whose son I live with Asperger's, um, where they just don't really connect. Uh, they'll talk to you, but it's not real in depth. And I lost my screen with you guys, so I gotta make sure you're still there because I can't. There we go. Okay. Um, what you've noticed is that they will literally try to be you and act the same, and it's always so obvious. Sometimes it is obvious. um Samantha, feel free to let me know more what's going on. But yeah, what sometimes it is obvious, depending on what stage. Usually more in the love bombing stage, like, oh, I love ballet. You're like, dude, like, okay, yeah, you can take me to the ballet, but it is sometimes really obvious. Um, yeah, and we are drawn, like people in general, we are drawn to um, people who have something familiar with us because we can talk. Right now, you guys are here. You guys are spending time with me. Why? Because we have a connection. Because we've all been abused through a narcissist or somebody with some mental illness or disorder. We have something connected. You're drawn, and you can see with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are back. Like, I feel connected with you guys. But if you guys want to talk about video games, it's too dissimilar. Like, I'm not going to spend all night talking to you guys about video games. So um, the narcissist uses that to their advantage, but then we believe it, and then we're hurt. I don't really like the ballet, but I do, but not to sit there for hours. I don't like to sit and watch. Um, some things I do, some things I do, just depends on what it is. But we start reacting, and now we're hurt. He will never, like, we used to go to the ballet all the time. Now he won't even look at the magazine cover of the cute tutu. Like, he's so disconnected from me. We didn't disconnect. That connection was never made. So we feel they disconnected. No, it's the opposite. And I keep talking like a narcissist. I did that video on a narcissist in reverse. Um, their their thought process, their actions, they do mirror. That's why we're like, oh, we have so much in common. No, they're doing what you thought they enjoyed. And there are times too, going to the amusement park, whatever. Not everybody likes it, but um, enjoyable. We go on the rides, but they're like, oh, wait, that was so cool. And they didn't really feel that way. It was kind of like, oh, that was kind of no kiddie ride, but it's all right. It's a nice day out. But they over exaggerate, and we're believing something that's not real. Like, we don't know who this person is. They're too scared to take accountability, too scared to tell us the truth until they get frustrated. That's when they don't always tell the truth, but that's when their emotions come out. You have high functioning autism, and your experience with narcissists is bullied. And okay, so you're what I'm thinking of as a first time. Bullied and humiliated by a young lady at a church you used to go to. This is what's so sad about churches. Some of them are amazing. Some of the people are amazing, but just like out in the world, not everybody is going to be amazing. And it gets sad when they pick and choose who to be amazing to. Some churches can be fantastic, but not every person in there. Um, so let's say it's a Christian church. Um, Not every person in that church is a true Christian, what the meaning is. They're just going through the routine. And I am so sorry for what you went through. It was probably public humiliation that they did it, not one-on-one. Um, and that's where the bullying comes in as well, where one-on-one stinks. But when you feel like the world's against you because other people are either laughing or joining in, and you're in a church. So I'm glad you are high functioning. And since you're high functioning, do people know that you're autistic? There are some people you kind of tell, but a lot of the high functioning you can't always tell, so they expect you to be different or like them. Um, Algeria, North Africa. Yeah. So good. MR, good to see you. Rashama, you are still here. What'd you make us for dinner? So you guys can join in. But yeah, there's so many differences with the comorbidities, but autism, when there's not the lack of connection, or when there is a lack of connection, an autistic person, they don't realize what you are going through. So they don't understand it and they don't know how to help you. And love is kind of that exchange. You help me, I help you. Um, but it hurts when people don't understand each other, and you can't force somebody to connect with you. And, when you're a person who really connects with people, it's hard to accept that. So Andrew being high functioning probably could be really easy to get along with, a little harder to connect with. Um, and it's just the balance gets off, unfortunately. And there are some mean people. So I'm going to go to Rashima's house for some pork chops, rice, and vegetables. Um, uh, yeah. Uh, Wheeler Nathan asked, does my daughter have a good relationship with her dad? Um, he's pretty controlling, but I don't, I don't, I didn't live, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if she has a trauma bond or how healthy she is. I know she's got some issues with me. Um, you know, because I think she feels that I'm the one that left and life happened. And there's certain situations she sees things from her perspective. Some things in life have happened, and then also her dad's perspective. And she's daddy's little girl, yeah. Does she have a good relation? He's hard on her though, but she seems to feel that you know, the structure was good, but I think sometimes he was too hard. But there I go overcompensating, and yeah, family dynamics. Um, but she is a wonderful, wonderful woman. But lack of empathy and understanding. They were afraid of me because I am different, and that's just it. Andrew, is everybody's different, and people do get scared of things that are different. That's why, unfortunately, we have racism sometimes, or people avoiding going into a neighborhood they've never been in just because they don't know it. Or, people are creatures of habit. We always, a lot of us go to the same stores, same gas stations. We're creatures of habit. We go to what's comfortable. And uh, miss you working with just teaching. I was I was saying I look so yeah, I had a full day where the kids gave me a hard time, and then I stayed after work. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, MR. Was miss you work? What just teaching? I was just teaching. If you're talking about during my day, or if you're talking about on the video, but we got Horseman. Good evening to you too. Daughters usually are close to their dads. And unapologetic, you look so sad. Oh, I recognize. I remember your name because that's a cool name. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'm here to help you too. But yeah, we're lucky we can still see Angie Atkinson. She was another YouTube creator, really good videos. And yeah, she passed away a week and a half ago on a Sunday due to respiratory issues. Helped a lot of people. Um, And Samantha says, my daughter is close to her dad. She tells me she hates me if I correct her, and she's very rude. And the kids pick up these traits. The kids pick up the traits. My daughter was pretty bossy to me. She didn't want to hear what I had to say. It was a really hard dynamic because she was mimicking her dad. She attached to him, and um, I'm the weaker one, and they mistake love for weakness. And is she going to control me or him? And we're all kind of striving for control and balance. Balance is where, um, yeah, just be strong, do the best you can. Your daughter does that toilet. Yours is 6. Tell me what you mean by that. My daughter does that toilet. Mine is 6. Your daughter does that too, is what I'm kind of thinking you're saying with being bossy and things like that. But yeah, as far as let's give a little moment for um, Angie Atkinson. There are other people, and I'll talk about triangulation in one second. But I'll be here for you too, because even the loss, like right now, we're going through the abuse we went through, and we get a lot of validation from some of the people on YouTube, because sometimes they're like, am I crazy? Or they keep telling me this didn't happen, but I know what happened. Or how do I get out of it? Or did I do something wrong? And we're just, all these thoughts are going through our head. And with rumination, it's just like we feel like we don't have any control over our thoughts now. And, there's a connection we develop with people. John's been around for a long time, since the beginning of my channel. He's on here right now. We've shared some of our lives, like stories, and there is a connection. We do get to know people. So, unapologetic, Ella, you don't have to apologize. I know you're sad, and it's okay to be sad. I have a video on the 5 stages of grief. Um, but as every experience, triangulation, uh, this is the thing, triangulation happens. Um, a lot of times you're like, try. That's when you bring somebody else into the situation where you want somebody to do your dirty work for you. So they can't connect with you. Sometimes the triangulation can just be like, they know you're going to, the third party is going to be at an event that you're going to be at. So they get that third party to invite you so you can be there. Sometimes too, just through the gossiping, they know if you say something, it's going to get back to this person to cause you to react. And let's just say I haven't seen it where there's not triangulation, but as to get the person to devalue you. It's not always going to cause an actual action. It's not always going to cause them to like come over or um, do some dirty handed, pop her tires or whatever. The triangulation is sometimes just changing the way the person thinks about you. So if you're having an argument and your narcissist is pissed at you, they can call your mom and I'm really concerned about her. Like she's having a bad day and she's going off the handle. She's acting crazy. And they make it seem like I'm really concerned. But now mom's going to argue with you and it's straining your relationship with her. So it can be that kind of triangulation. And it's kind of a trauma too. Like, why is my mom not believing me? Um, yeah, gone way too soon. The flying monkeys. Yeah, flying monkeys. Yeah, I should put it. You triangulate into the flying monkeys. And the flying monkeys are the servants. Yeah, good way to put it. Thank you, Andrew. You are correct. Um, daughters. There's a map behind you. Oh, I see. No, I'm at home. I'm at home. Thank you. Yeah, I teach online and I have one more class next week. I teach in the schools and then also I teach all the time. Um, but I've been doing this one body language and tone of voice for this one kid where I'm doing a private one-on-one, more like a counseling thing. And so I've just left my setup so I can teach whenever I want to teach. Just it's really nice. I just schedule a class and I teach and make money. But you're so funny. This is my virtual school. So yeah, there are a lot of these maps in schools, but I love that. Nowhere in my house. But my soon to be ex's daughter was closer to him than their poor mom. Yeah, yeah. That happens a lot because they're so grandiose sometimes, or they play the victim so bad that, yeah, or they'll definitely call. Oh, I had mine, my first called this guy I dated. You can be in my class. I'll teach you to behave. Um, but I started like seeing this one guy. He lived in Boston. I live in Michigan. Like that's pretty far apart. And there was one time where we were trying to make plans. I met him and then he went back home and we talked on the phone for like a month and a half and I was going to go visit him. So he said he would pay for the ticket. And so he said, just go ahead and set it up. Let me know how much it is. And this is back in the day where we're not just texting, like you got to call the person. So, um, so I call him and let him know how much it was. And so he asked me to call a different airline because it's like $850, which in today's day is probably like $1,600 or something. But I call and I give him and then it's a little bit of back and forth, like 2 or 3 phone calls. So my ex subpoenas my phone records because we're in the middle of a custody battle, goes through my phone bill and calls this random number because he heard through the grapevine that I met somebody. And he's like, I'm just really concerned. I think she's stalking you. And it's like, dude, like there was like 2 or 3 phone calls. Like he was the one calling me all the time. And because there's 2 or 3, even if 2 or 3 in a day, when it's your boyfriend, is one time would not be harassing. You never know what it is. It's like, oh, I'm about to take a shower. Let me call you back. Hey, it's me. I'll call you after dinner. That can happen in a healthy relationship. Yeah, they can call their exes and just that reverse discard that you were talking about. It it gets us to put more effort in or to look at ourselves like what's wrong with me, why am I not loved, why is he yelling or she yelling at me. And we got Josephine here. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Ella and Josephine. Yeah, thank you for coming. You guys are both Angie Atkinson um, uh, fans, I guess, condolences from Birmingham, England. So we gave a little tribute to her. She really is full of really good information. We're so lucky that all her information is still out there. Her family members are going through her videos, editing things. I've already seen some of that. So her son Ryan is doing that. Um, so sometimes too, instead of watching, the whole video, you might be able to just get some blurbs, a little bit more concise to what your needs are. So Angie Atkinson, she's still here for us. She is. She put her heart and soul in it. Uh, Ella says, when I was growing up with my mom, I viewed my mother like she was a queen, very hardworking, always dressed up. When she married this person, everything changed. And that's the thing, too. Step families are very difficult. And did she change, or what was your life topsy turvy now, Ella? Because I'm trying to understand mom a little more. Was mom abusive? Uh, she was either trying to please Freddie or Freddie was a abuser. So I'm kind of confused on that. So Samantha, yeah, love Angie. She'll be so missed, most definitely. And so, oh, you're sweet. Thank you, Wheeler Nathan. And Ella, I feel it. Yeah. If there's certain things you want me to help you with, you know, I just need a little more information so I can help you. It changes people, you know, and I noticed that mom has she always dresses up, so I'm wondering if she's the narcissist where image is important, or Freddie. Like, that's where I'm trying to understand it better. There's all these little clues, but even with I tell you guys my degrees in criminal justice, one little clue, it can lead you on this wild goose chase, you know, um, trying to figure out all the different pieces. And it's hard. And this is where it's important for us to start accepting we don't have to understand everything. Tonight I can go to bed, sleep the whole night not knowing the quantum theory. I don't have to know it. There's pick your battles. We're only going to learn so much in life. And as we're sitting here trying to figure it out, we're not figuring out how to find a new love. We're trying to figure out our past love, or we're hurt from our family growing up. And sometimes too, we are looking to fix things. Some of us are like, can we fix it? Some of us are scared, like, what's going to happen if I leave? There's all different relationship dynamics. So we have to think, is it toxic? Are we able to change, because we can't change the other person. And we have to think of their perspective, our perspective. And by connecting, we understand each other's things. Because like right now, you know, let's say just something stupid. This is going to be kind of inappropriate, but not really. Where I'm like, oh, all right, well, it's great talking to you guys. I got to go toot. And you're like, she has to pass gas. She just told us she has to pass gas. And it's like, no, I play the trumpet, like, toot, 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 toot. There's certain words that we're like, oh, but if you had that connection, you're like, oh, I know what you're doing, So first language is Arabic, after French, and your last is English. And nice woman's just English. Me, I speak a little bit. I know one Arabic word, and I don't know if I should say it. Khada. I can't do it. Khada, which I babysat some Arabic kids, and they're like, I gotta go khada, I gotta go khada. So I figured out what that meant. But I was driving with my mom, and I was being silly. I was like, 14 years old. I'm like, chada, chada, chada. And my mom's like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, no. Um, and in Dutch, where my mom's from, it's the letter G, D, which means our heavenly entity, damn it. Uh, stood for the God, and so I was swearing in 2 different languages. But I know French, so bienvenidos. I do. I know a little bit of sign language, so yeah, I like to communicate. Language fascinates me because people do. The, that's how we convey things to people. The choices of the words. Some are subconscious, and with our narcissists, we pay attention to the little words. People choose the words on purpose. I'll say I'm cold because I'm cold. I'll say I'm freezing because I'm freezing. There's a reason I chose that word. If I say, um, my grandma is a good cook, then she's still alive. If I say my grandma was a good cook, then she's passed. So sometimes narcissists have several grandmas that die, or family members, or friends, or whatever. Pay attention to that is and was. Pay attention to future past. I'd like to go, um, where I'd like to go home, and you're like, I thought you were home. No, I like being at home is what I meant. But sometimes too we have those, brain bubbles where we do miss that connection. So it gets really hard. And MR, that's great. So I'm assuming that you're talking about me. Yeah, I'm Cynthia Schiller, and I can so relate to you guys. But like I was saying earlier, that the depression stage, take that as a really positive sign, a mile marker that you are on your way to healing. But you got to take your power back. You got to fight off those intrusive thoughts. They're going to keep popping. But the more you get into them, if you're like, oh, here's the best kisser, and then you're like, whatever. If you can dismiss it, as opposed to going, oh, we were walking on the beach and then we did this, and oh, I met him here, and like we're feeding into it. So we have to fight it. Like, try to fight it off. Like, okay, he was, but he's not here now. So what are we doing today? And it takes mental effort. They say that, the withdrawal, it's like we're withdrawing from a person because of that dopamine hit, the serotonin, like everything that we went through. Um, it's something we have to deal with. They say it's like a withdrawal from cocaine. So what you guys are feeling, like I've never done drugs, so I don't know, but I've been through so many years. I had one where it was just high anxiety due to the fact that they did not communicate. You know, um, it was like you're reinforce that you're going to be together, and then they take it away without the communication. It was high anxiety, feeling like I did something wrong. If only I could correct this. Can't you just like tell me to fuck off? Tell me this. Tell me you're just alive. Like I love you. Or we is to where you think the person. It doesn't make sense. Like, why can't you even tell me to fuck off? Or why? Not that I wanted to hear that, but there should be some compassion. Like, if I pissed you off that much, which all I did was say, I love you. Can we talk? I did it way too many times. So I irritated them. But, I freaked out because it's like, just tell me you're alive, and, you know, you want to make sure somebody's alive. I was trapped states away. I didn't have enough time to drive and get back. And they're not answering your call. And this is the other thing too, is I was being respectful, not contacting his family, because I hadn't met him yet. And I'm struggling to respect him, but I wasn't being respected back. So that starts eating you up. Like, oh, but I didn't want to piss him off because, I might seem like a stalker if I'm looking up how to contact family members, and you try to handle things the right way. Yeah, would go ahead. You have questions about, I can give, yeah. Oh, the autism. Let's MR. I think you were autism. Is that? Please let me know again, MR, what your question is. And Horseman, please let me know. And Rashima's enjoying her dinner. Feel free to type away. Sociopath, psychopath, and yeah, they really don't have empathy. Please reword your question. Just write autism if that's what you're talking about. Um, I know you want to get an answer. I'm not sure if you're talking about autism or if you want to ask a different woman a question, because there are some women here. Um, and they are, I think you're still typing, sociopath, psychopath. There's all these different mental illnesses, disorders, and, can they be cured? Do they go into remission? It's hard to say. There is no cure for narcissism. Uh, can it go into remission? I don't even know if that's the right word. You behaved today. Um, oh, have I been hoovered lately? As far as narcissist hoovering, um, it, it it depends. Like, some narcissists do contact you. Um, there's a difference between trying to say hi or trying to get you to do something or being bored. They're not always evil, but there are times that they can be toxic, and it depends on the the depth, the amount of narcissism that they have. So that you need 5 out of 9 traits. If you have all 9, add that in with something else. I hear some of you guys, and I know you guys who are Angie fans, that the abuse, hearing that abuse is like, whoa. Mine was like the opposite. The connection part, like, I know mine weren't as bad as what a lot of you have gone through, but I see the rages. And, I think we want to know so badly if somebody has empathy. Because do they care about us? If they don't care about us, they're not going to take care of us. And we have to look at the facts, but then we start thinking about the facts of in the beginning. But when people love each other, it brings them closer. When both parties love each other. And if only one does, it, or when things start to slip, if things start to slip, you get back on track if you both love each other. But if not, like, the dynamics, we do reactive abuse sometimes. That's why you feel guilty, and we apologize, and it hurts because, during that discard, you know, uh, my first one was like, we were on Valentine's Day having a date. I drive across state. I got a speeding ticket. I'm supposed to move back home. All these things. Valentine's Day, setting up a date. We had plans on what we were doing. I get a speeding ticket, and that was the last time. I'm no longer moving home. No longer building our family over a speeding ticket that I'm going to pay for. My car was paid off. Only had PLPD on it, personal liability. Minimal insurance that I'm going to pay anyways. It's like $220 or something. And that's what you're throwing away your relationship over. So I don't know. But, and it was only, maybe a 70 and a 55. It might have even been 65 and 55, but it wasn't like I was going 120. I was speeding, but he speeds. He speeds too. He just doesn't get caught because he's a cop. So you can't win. It's not fair. It's a double-edged, double-sided. And the stronger they are on the narcissism spectrum, the more they don't care. Yes. Um, some some can be generous at times, and that's where it gets so confusing. We see things that they do that they're they're socially acceptable things, um, but it's like what people feel inside is your thoughts become your actions, actions become your words become, I don't even remember how it goes, but your your thoughts become your your words. This is your words become your thoughts become your actions become your destiny. And that is so true. Your thoughts. I'm so sick of you. Because that's been on my head. Why did I just say that? It's gonna eventually come out. But if you're like, we can do this. I love you. I can't wait. It changes our mindset, and it's gonna change our actions. You know, and you have a 56-year-old. Oh, a 56-year-old. Um, 56 years old. I'm 52, so we're not. Yeah, pretty close. Narcissistic men take a woman beauty for themselves. Um, so there's two ways I can take that. She changed. Ella, narcissist men take a woman beauty for themselves. Now they do drain you. Um, Sometimes they will be with a beautiful woman to increase their status, but they also after the abuse they can drain you. They can age you a lot quicker, and it does change people. Frown lines, worried lines. I got terrible worried lines, and we all get that as we age, but I uh, you know um I feel the aging process was increased because of that. How how would audio recordings of mental, emotional, verbally abuse on kids and myself hold up in court from definitely keep those. Definitely keep those. um you want documentation, because you and don't encourage it. Don't go, sweetie, is daddy being mean? Can you tell the recording how mean daddy is? um, you cannot lead it. If you lead it, um, be real careful on that stuff. you know and if you start getting in an argument with him, your husband, she's got 3 kids at home, and dad's arguing in front of the kids, and you know, um, if he's like, "You never clean, you never do this, you suck." How do I suck? Can you tell me more? And then you're encouraging him, things like that. Don't encourage more abuse. Don't say it in front of it, it's important to have documentation, because, like I was telling Samantha, I went through 4 custody battles over my daughter, and yeah, uh, the way the everything was twisted. Um, you know, my in my court, lost for the word, or not order. Oh man, I'm at a loss for a word. The court order, the basic and recap of it is, it says, the based on the banana nut incident, Cynthia Schiller is probably not as crazy as Mr. So and so states, because for 2.5 hours he was bitching about banana nut bread that I had her daughter made a Betty Crocker mix with, and just sprinkled on um, crumbled nuts, and I put in like a banana. So it's like easy, a ripened banana, a couple sprinkles of almonds or walnuts, and then you bake it. I wrapped it in tinfoil, put a little file folder sticker. It wasn't even like a Christmas sticker, very basic. It was just something mom could cook something with the daughter, and she could feel pride in giving him a homemade gift. He wasn't a cookie eater, didn't want sweets, and that was his favorite. So, but he's like bitching, yeah, she wants me back. She had the audacity to give me my favorite, and that's how sick she is, and she can't leave me alone. So it gets real twisted, and the narcissist has a way of manipulating the system. So document everything, don't lead it, if but if you need to, uh why is the woman speak orally is because empty of mind or of soul, or is there's other things just a woman say her nature and manai. um oh, okay, so is it the woman's nature? uh okay, so okay. Men and women can be narcissistic. It's not always female. There are different types. There seem to be more women talking about the narcissist. I'm not quite sure if this is helping you. I'm trying to answer all the aspects of what it could be that you're trying to say. um, there are definitely men and women who are narcissists. The You see probably more women here. I don't know. It's pretty close today. It is pretty close. So the victims are pretty close, uh, but there's differences in dynamics, and depending on where you are in the country. Some of you are coming from different countries. USA is pretty narcissistic, and we coddle people and allow them to get away with things once they start allowing, and everybody's entitled, and um, uh, the entitlement is really increasing. You know, it's okay. So I think are we born that way? Is it nature versus nurture? Oh, narcissists. It's a product of their environment, of the things that they've gone through, and or sometimes too, um just there can be injuries. It's trauma based, and that's why with the CPTSD that we went through, we got to be careful we don't turn narcissistic, because it is trauma based. And narcissism um is feeling entitled and being dismissive, and the grandiose feel they're better than others, and this is where it gets confused. They act, um, and it's wording is so important to get. Your guys are going to perceive my words from your perspective. You're going to try to understand, and if I use the right connection, that's why I do a lot of analogies so you can kind of picture it. I try to say it different ways. There's reasons I say it different ways, because sometimes people are like, oh, I get it. We don't always get on the first round. And I gave you some examples of where things are, I got a two, go to, it's like, do we have that connection of what that secret meaning means? Some of you are from different, language backgrounds, different countries, to where you have a different perspective on what that word means based on your experience. If I say it's huge, maybe somebody from a different country might think that huge is like the size of a tree, and skinny but tall, because that's how they were taught it. Like, that tree's huge, and you know um, we learn through experience, and our perception is based on that. But keep a log, even if you wrote down, 6 p.m. he got home from work, and you know, uh, threw the laundry across the room and almost hit my kid. Just write a little log, but be careful where you put that log, because you guys live in the same house, and he'll get rid of it, burn it, throw it in your face, um, rip it up, uh, and it's good to have one. Somehow have some documentation somewhere. You can, I don't know where all these things go on the web, cloud storage, but be careful you have connected accounts, things you type on your computer. But protect yourself. The audio recordings, you can save, but see how that goes. Like if he destroys your phone, are the recordings gone? So do you need to forward them to your mother or something? But you got issues with mom. You do have it in the email with me, so both of us have it. Um, but definitely document. Definitely document. So I hope that answered your question, MR, because I'm trying to understand, what is your native. Do you, I can't see the picture. I wish I could see better. Uh, you're welcome. Um, and I'm not exactly sure. We got a couple people who are still on here. I'm not quite. I wish I could see who it is so I could address that. Pete joined us. I'm not sure. Rashama. Um, and if we still have our Angie ladies, let me know some of the things that I can help you with, because, part of the reason people get stuck. There you go, Ella. Let me know if you're still there. Um, Part of the reason they get stuck in that narcissistic relationship is we get comfortable in habit. It becomes a habit. And you're right. You are right. No apologies needed, because you are correct that, some of us are like, but this is my family. Or we have 18 years together, or 5 years, and we're afraid to leave because our narcissist has knocked us down, lowered our self esteem. And we give them the power to do that too, because we can walk away, so, but we kind of give them second chances because we love them. And we think that if they love us back, that it'll work itself out, you know. And let me see where we're at. But you guys have some great comments, and you know they do care about themselves. It's like it's like kids. It is, other than the intellectual, the short attention spans, and the outbursts, and kids want to control things too, because they're living a life, but they need to learn how to get along with people. Otherwise, we're all just going to beat each other to a pulp, abuse each other. Nobody's going to like each other. It's going to, explode. And we have to all get along. Otherwise, we become vicious. Look what greed's doing over in Russia and with the Ukraine, and all the people dying over. It's like, just get along, figure something out that's fair. Are they entitled to the land? Like, it's really sad, the different wars, and it gets confusing because there's not perfect puzzle pieces, where we match, this is going to be your husband, this is going to be your wife, this is, and the kids are going to, there's variations and fluidity in the way that people deal with each other. Sometimes they like each other, sometimes they don't. So when that changes and they go on to somebody else and they come back, and the supply, it is definitely supply based with a narcissist, because when you don't care about something, you really don't miss it or think about it. until you need it again. Like, I've thrown out a lot of things. I don't even think about a lot of the things I've thrown out until I need something. I had yards of this green fabric that I got rid of. And I was like, oh, I should have saved it for a green screen, but I didn't think about it for years. So I'm like, I need to get rid of this stuff. Um, and then you're like, man, I wish I kept it. I wish I kept it because I could use it now. Same with the narcissist. You know, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, could have used it right now. And you guys are adorable. Can you be in my class? Uh, so I'm heartbroken to come to terms with the fact that he will never really love me. It is hard. It's like devastating hard. Um, yeah, Samantha, I'm a little worried about your situation. Document things, maybe have somebody help you. Uh, you know, um, yeah, it's going to be a hard one. And you have to stay calm. Don't fuel his fire because it's going to get worse. Uh, so sometimes you just, I'm sorry, it's just not working. I'm sorry. Uh, don't give them things to work with. So if you start explaining, um, I'm sorry, it's not working because, like for example, when we went to the water park and you threw the bag at the kid and it hit him, like you were screaming. And then he's going, well, when we were at the water park, you did this. Like he's going to twist it around. And so this, is how it sucks. And that's why the narcissists like thrive because they cut things out, they control things. And after the abuse, we got to take back our power. And you know um, just say, this is how it is. You can give them two options. And are you picking the kid up at your house or at my house? Two options. Or you can give them three, or you don't want to see the kid. We have a hard time letting go, because it changes our life, but a lot of times it can change it for the better. He, I think we feel that we're staying for the kids. Are we protecting them emotionally? Are we protecting them physically? Because that's the most important thing. And Wheeler Nathan, it does seem like it's a family here, and I do want to get to know each of you. The more I talk to you, the more I know, the more connected, and we need that. People need validation, and you're for freedom. Or the women is, uh, yeah. Okay, so you are Muslim. I worked in a Muslim school. I am not Muslim, but I do know some of their beliefs, traits, ways of living. I didn't know all of it. I still don't. But I know at the school, I'm American. I'm conservative, but I do still feel that people, I'm not going to, my God will judge other people. I won't judge other people. But we have to be aware of other people. Like, is it safe to be around that person? But I don't put hate. It's up to my God. So I don't really judge people. So I'm friends with all, Jewish, Muslim, like everybody. But it is different. And they do say that arranged marriages can be happier in the long run because, that's what you, and they're not always happy. Just like our relationships with our people are not always happy. But when I was at the Muslim school, for respect, it's kind of required too, but out of respect, I wore a hijab. And I went to shake one of the male teacher's hands, like, oh, I'm new here. And I went, and it was weird. He jumped back. I was like, oh, so yeah. A single woman should, a married man should be touching a single woman. And it was just a handshake, So you guys can be very respectful of the women. And that's the thing too, the different cultural things, in that I believe that the women are the more submissive type, to where they're not going to talk back as much. And when they become Americanized, it's a little different. It causes a lot of tension and curiosity. So there's like you know, uh, it is changing. So yeah, there are, and women, you believe of what's or nothing, or you're naturally ideal mind. Um, and women's, I'm not quite. I'm not quite sure. Naturally, we don't use that accent uh, on the first E. If we ever do that accent, oh no, wait, yeah, okay, I day. I'm not sure if you're saying idea. Um, so the reason why I stay, I don't want to give him visitation. I need, and that's the thing. Use the word need, and I get it. We. I need my babies, and they're never. I know. Um, ev- uh, husband's family is not safe, so I don't want husband alone with my children. Um, yeah. Wheeler Nathan. So Samantha, yeah, I get it. Yeah, but this is where, and don't take offense to this, because we're we're balancing things now. Okay, so Samantha, your babies have needs too, and we feel we're not putting our needs above our babies because we love them, we want to be with them, but are they at risk? Are they at risk? And your need, be careful, doesn't overcome taking care of them. And I think taking care of them is in protecting them. So I know exactly where you are, and I know, I don't want to discredit what you're saying, because I get it. Those custody battles, like, I was freaking out, and I've lived that, scared to death, uh, but be careful too, because as they get older, you have to give them freedom. Um, you know, uh, it's hard because some of our needs are, you know, I get it. It's hard when it's the maternal things. You're like, nothing else matters. I get it. But will the fact that he's abusive affect his ability to have visitation? Depends. If you can prove it. If the kids, you have an 8-year-old, they might interview. Yeah, they'll interview the 8-year-old. They probably won't interview the 4 or 2-year-old. Um, and by the time it goes to court, he's probably already 9. 5-year-olds, they they might not interview the 5-year-old. But after birthdays, uh, he could have supervised, but you know, depends on what the abuse is. If they give him a little spanking, I think they still allow a spanking. Um, are there bruises, cuts? Can you prove it? Um, you know, that's where it gets tricky. So take pictures. And You know, I was in law school back in 97 to 99 or something like that. So, and then the custody battle for me was around 2000. So some of my stuff is based on the past. I don't know what exactly has changed, if you're still allowed to spank legally. Um, I think it might have something to do with marks. Like, you know, if I'm like, hey, on a butt, if I do that and it's, you know, leaving marks, um, then it's too much. I don't know the exact thing, but uh, definitely, you know, bruising or scalding or anything like that. But think how safe the situation is. How does he go off for hours, or is it just like, damn it, just sit down? Or yours was a couple minutes. You sent me that voice clip. Is it on and on and on? He seems like he'll carry it on, uh, and go after you too with. Where you're like, all right, I'm done. You know, we'll talk about it later. I'm done. No, 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 no. You need to listen. So, yeah, he'll keep it going and make it worse, and then start giving you jabs to trigger you just to keep the fight going. You have to remain calm, not feed into that, not explain yourself. Because when you're like, I just hate it when you argue, he's going to be like, like you said, he's a mocker where he mocks you, or he's going to be like, you hate everything. And, you know, if you were better, like, he's going to turn around on you. And it's just frustrating because he's not going to let you win. He's going to say what he wants to say. And um, your message, you can't explain more information to you. See good what I spoke to you. I know there's a language barrier. What's your native language? Is it Arabic? Um, who was that? MR. Because you're typing in English, but you're talking about Muslim and Africa. MR. Who was from Africa? So I'm not used to all this international all over the place. It's fantastic. Um, so he's unreasonable on and on. Yeah. And MR, um, yeah, I you're pretty good at English, but there's a little bit off. And uh, I'm getting most of what you were trying to say, and I'd like to communicate. Um, it's really close, but it's so close to two different things that it gets confusing. So I'm sorry I can't answer a little bit better. But like Wheeler Nathan said, you know, we're family, we're here to care about each other. Very important. And, you know, those of you, I wish they would show me who is still on so I can address uh, each one of you, because I know some of you are here from Angie Atkinson, and you're trying to get to know me a little bit. I definitely want to help you guys because that's a pretty recent loss, you know, hard to deal with. Some of us, not necessarily the five of us right here, but some of us have losses that are uh, pretty impactful because this feels like, you know, that was the only person there for us. So, you know, have a comfort knowing that Angie's videos are still out there and a lot of great information. Um, you know, even look through her community, the comments that she got from the different people. I have stories on my channel, but she also has stories on her channel that can kind of help you. And, you know, we can see the progress she made. So sometimes, too, you know, knowing that it is possible to heal, that others have done it. Will we be the same exact person? No, but we can make ourselves better. but that takes effort. So he berates the kids and calls them stupid and blows up on them during their schoolwork. Yeah. It's just a childlike way of handling things. They, for whatever reason, feel out of control. They're unsettled and they're trying to get settled and the way they do it is to control the situation. You know, uh, it can either hit home. So the kids are doing the schoolwork, and either he's irritated that they can't play with him, or they're irritated that it's taking up time because they want to use the table, or they're irritated. And it's like the kids are doing nothing wrong. They're doing their homework. They're doing their schoolwork. They're focusing. They're quiet. Or it could be jealousy that the kid, like, how did this kid know this at this age? Like, I struggled. They're reading. I had a hard time reading. Um, Little triggers, you know. Like you could be helping, like you're the teacher for them. You homeschool, Samantha, so you could be really attentive to your kids during that learning time, and they'll get pissed that dinner's not done, or you forgot to clean the sink in the bathroom. You left a little bit of toothpaste in there when you spit your toothpaste out, and it can turn into full-blown fights when you're like, man, I'm teaching the kids all day and I was in a hurry. I forgot to rinse out the sink, or I didn't realize. And it turns into horrible, horrible interactions. Um, um, okay. I am in America. I am American, and we are different. We all say that, or I explain more and more. What's the difference of? Um, so I'm gonna type this. You must watch I Love Lucy. I explain, and you write this. So it's a little different. I believe you are saying I explain. Um, and it should be, and I'm not pulling you apart. I'm just saying, here's some of the struggles. It should say you are, and I adore you. I'm just helping you with your English. I have an ESL endorsement. So it means you are, and this is being helpful. Okay. I think my messages, clear. I think you are saying clear. You are clear. It took me reading it a lot of times. Claire isn't even really a word. There's a city in Michigan called St. Clair, but there is a girl's name, but that's not usually how she spells it. So there's really not a word that I know of in English that is Clair. So clear means I understand you. I'm thinking that's what you're saying. So that's sent to you with a kind heart, that you're clear on it. I am American. Americans do seem more narcissistic. A lot of it's just the way, and Muslim people that I know of, it seems that they have it set up. These are the rules, you know, don't break them. It works. These are rules, follow the rules, it works. When the rules get broken, but there's also the control. And in America, we're more fighting for equality. Everybody's the same. And that's where it gets hard. So I'm thinking you're a man. I just see MR. I'm believing you're a man. You can correct me. Um, so it works for you, for the most part. If you have a good wife, because even with arranged marriages, you have problems, but you're getting what you want. Like you're in the upper hand. And I know this is her role in your community, your uh, religion, um, if that's the correct word, but it gets overwhelming with and as you guys have your arranged marriages, there are going to be connections. Um, Men usually don't, it's so hard to say because they can, but in that kind of culture, the women are seen as beneath, but you're also really respectful how you like don't touch, but it it's hard. It's hard, but you're on the good side of it. You're on the bonus side. She's on the uh and a lot of women like the emotions. We like to talk through things. Women use like 4 times more words than men, and you know, there's reasons why women, we like to control certain things because it makes sense to us. Like you want me to do the laundry now, but I'd rather do it before I mop the floor so I'm not walking or I don't know. I'd rather do it in this order so it all falls to place. I'm not double cleaning, or I'd rather do the darks, but you want me to do the whites. But if I do that, it might, there's reasons. And I'm not giving a good example of one, but you just chatted with your language to explain what's I have idea in mind. Yeah, and this is how you spell idea. And like I said, this is just very loving. I don't even know how to do the accent aigu. That's French. But we 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 don't use that. It's adapted if we use it. I know there are some accents in like Spanish as well. The tilde, I think. Oh, if this is no passive aggressive, as far as correcting the English, because I'm certified in ESL. I stayed after work today, and that's why I'm apologizing, because I know what it's like. I went over to China. I didn't know very much. I tried studying the language. So if you're talking about that dog defender, if you feel I'm being passive aggressive, it is not demeaning in any way. I'm certified in ESL, stayed after to teach English as a second language. I volunteered. Luckily, they ended up paying me, but I volunteered before I was even offered to get pay. There's some Japanese kids at my school. That one girl got hurt. She broke her arm, and that's why I offered. I wouldn't just normally offer. Like I walk around the school and help the kids by purposely. So I'm just trying to help because that's what I'm certified in. I have 4 certifications, 4 endorsements above the regular elementary. So if you could, uh, okay, good point. Okay, I see your point. But I was trying to clarify, and you're right, I could say things differently, that I was having a hard time understanding it. And I was trying to show him. And this is where uh do not think I am saying you are a narcissist. Because I said there's 4 different personality types. Okay. But this is where the connection sometimes is. I'm trying to say it how I would need it said. Like, I'm not trying to hurt you or whatever. I'm trying to let you know I'm trying to help you, because we all have certain sensitivities. And you're right. You're right. You're right. No, I accept it. I understand what you're saying. What do you teach? Manners. No. But okay, I should have let, and that's the thing. Sometimes we don't know what to let go because certain things are important to us. What's important to him right now is talking about his needs, and I took it off topic. I'll accept that. You're right. Um, I just mentioned it and then I read yours. Uh, okay. Yeah. So this is yeah, like you said, non-formal. And that's part of it too, though. Like it's like the teacher in me kind of sometimes, and that's the thing too. Wondering what's uh, we've also gone through, and I'm going to be honest. I told you, I don't know if you were logged in then, but I wrote some notes on my hand today because my mind's kind of scattered. I worked all day. It was pretty stressful. And I have to be in a different location tomorrow that I don't want to forget. There's a music program, and it slipped my mind like 3 times. And I'm like, I have to write this down. And I'm making sure that, I do my commitment. And so with the CPTSD that we've gone through, I had COVID 3 or 4 weeks ago. A family member died. Like my brain's a little tired. The the brain fog from COVID possibly, or the CPTSD, or I am 52. Maybe part of it's aging, part of it's stress. Maybe I'm just a bimbo, but you know, okay. I probably could have worded it different. Um, so if I offended anybody, I didn't mean to. And that's the thing, like, certain things you try to think are, I mentioned this too, where, how, a lot of times people, you got some nice thick thighs. I don't like hearing that. I like, not to have thick thighs. And they mean it as a compliment, so sometimes people take offense to something that's meant to be a compliment. It's hard in these kind of situations, where we can hurt people's feelings when we don't mean it that way. So is that passive aggressive if you are saying you got some nice thick thighs, and you like, how was that a, a passive aggressive, like, but tone makes a difference too. Intention makes a difference. And what made narcissism such a big topic? It was it's changing, it's increasing. uh women's are being hurt a little bit more. The internet, we can see all the abuse, we can call people, hear other stories. It has been around forever, but maybe back in the Little House on the Prairie days, 8 people were abused in their little, who knows what's outside this world, and sometimes too, you think that's normal. You don't see, the different types of things. um it's increasing. It's increasing the toxicity, the mental illness, whether it's narcissism, sociopathy, psychopath. I had mentioned about the billboards that I've seen, over a span of just a couple years. It was like 169, 1 in 169 kids have autism. And I got to reword that. I can't remember if it was children. But I do remember 1 in 69. And then the numbers quickly changed, that it was like 1 in 78 or something like that. And I'm going to look that up right now for you guys, because I think it's like way different. I got too many tabs open. Percent rate of autism. But is it awareness? Now we're testing. Does it have 62 per 10,000 people? That doesn't sound right. And these are just billboards, but about, yeah, I don't want to waste your time with this stuff. Uh, for me, searching, it is something important, but autism rates by year, 1.7% of children in the United, 1 in 68. Yes. Is that what I said? Did I say 1 in 68? Don't know what I'm talking about. I might not have, but I think I did. So I was going off of memory. So 1 in 68. Yeah. Same with narcissism, though. We're encouraging kids that, you are great. You do get a trophy. All you have to do is try. And congratulations, you're the best. And, we don't earn things anymore. It's almost like we're teaching them to be entitled. And we have to be careful too, like as a teacher, we're taught, depending on what school district, unfortunately, not all teachers are taught this, but it gets touchy with, you don't want to, and they do it both ways too. So, but to get the kids to do things, you don't want to get it to where they're only going to do something if you give them a reward. And even the way that we talk to them, it's more effective if we say Katie's on task, Joshua's on page 68, as opposed to, oh, good job, Melissa. Because then kids are like, what about me? What about me? What about me? To where we just kind of keep it a little more even balance. Because everybody's into this fairness thing. And unfortunately, life isn't always fair, too. They need to develop some coping skills. It's a tough balance because there's healthy, unhealthy, miscommunication. Did I lose friends? You're also a teacher. Nice to meet you too. Did I lose friends? Oh, did you lose friends after abuse? Not specifically because of smear campaigns, but other reasons. It must be other reasons. And tell me what you mean by that, Layla. Uh, why you said that? Oh, it's because yes, sometimes I'll be honest, I was devastated and I either didn't want to talk or I wanted to talk too much about it. So, um, like this is after the breakup. Yeah, after abuse. Um, you kind of disconnect. My best friend and I are are uh, reunited for 3 years now, something like that. So it was never like an argument; it just kind of faded. She got married. Sometimes we lived in different states. I moved away, so that was my fault. We were like really good friends, and we have reconnected. Life kind of happens. But yeah, there's times we've had some heated conversations of, you know, uh, sometimes you do talk too much, but it's a joy to see what you're passionate about. I don't think you were being at all. Thank you, because I was trying not to. So you might be a little bit more my personality. Sorry, and don't apologize for the errors. Um, okay, yeah. So I was. So MR, yeah. Sorry for the error in other ones. I to be have a good idea and I explain to you find more. So you're trying to explain to me and I am trying to understand you so I can answer you. Uh, so you've seen that you don't know what you're talking about and you'll need to get your life together and find yourself a man and see a therapist and thank you for your support and have a blessed day. Craig Country McLean doesn't like me. Is that what you're saying? That's cool. There's times it's hard to express the thoughts in the exact way that need to be said for everybody to understand. And nobody's perfect. And I carry an imaginary red pen and my mind corrects spelling and grammar, not attacking. I have CPSD and have COVID. I just wanted to nudge you to take a step back and imagine how you yes. And imagine how you yes. Take out that red pen. So I'm and it's a playful like and then that's the thing too, like this is where we have to be careful because I don't really know dog defender and sometimes I don't know where you're from either. I dated well, never kissed him. I was 16, whatever you want to call it. We hung out a lot, but there was a French exchange student and he didn't understand sarcasm. So this is where a lot of things fall apart. Dog defender, I don't know where you're from. And you might take offense to what I just said. But Samantha probably would play along with it. She knows me a little bit better. She seems a little bit more like me. And even that, I don't know. I've only talked to her a couple times. But Rashima, thanks for coming on today. And you're still having a hard day. Yeah. Um, have you been productive today, Rashima? I feel like I lost friends after narcissism. Yeah. Sometimes people, it's sad that, this is one thing too that I did. I don't know if you do this, Layla, but they'll say, and this is a fault I have, this is something I do wrong. They'll say, well, you need to stop talking to him. And I come back, but, and they're like, he doesn't care because can't you see? And I'm like, well, yes, but in this way he did. And I go round and round with them. They're giving me their advice. What do you think? They tell me, and I kind of argue it. Like, but what about this? What about this? How about this? What if he said that? Um, and that's part of the CPTSD. We're kind of freaking out, and we can become narcissistic because I was focused on me and they were trying to help me and I didn't appreciate it. I wanted their answers to be what I wanted to hear. So um, sometimes too, people get. I don't know your situation enough, but we can lose friends. But give it a little bit of time. The right people are going to come to your life. Good night. Nice to see you, woman. I don't know your name. Cynthia Schiller. It was good chatting with you too. And yes, more chances. You take care. USA, Dog Defenders from USA. And the depression we go through. And remember, I told you guys that is your power time. You can go back throughout the 5 stages of grief, or you can go forward. And that's acceptance. It has to be up to you. If you accept what happened, to know you didn't deserve it, and you know, yeah. So yeah, Samantha's known me for about a year. Similar personality. Um, but Rashema, it seems like you're still functioning. Like you did make dinner, like a delicious dinner. Got to keep going, and yeah, the CPTSD, in a sense, turns us into narcissists. I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm crying. I'm ruminating. And just it takes us away. Now we're lazier at work. We're not motivated. You know, you know, it's hard. It's hard. And that's why too, it's like these people, like, can the narcissist change? I take it as uh the CPTSD, and depends, how traumatic. Who we are as our personality is also going to affect how traumatic it is. You might be able to yell at Samantha and I in a certain way. We're going to take it a different way than Dog Defender. One of us is going to turn out stronger. You see kids who grow up in the same household, different ones take it different. Uh, so the CPTSD depth that you go through is gonna lead to your self-protective mode. I'm sad. I'm ruminating. I don't like this. I don't know how to fix it. And we start getting in our mind, like, was it because of this? Did it? We're doing too much to our brain, um, and we feel sometimes we feel like the answers should be right there, but we're trying to solve a two-sided question with half the information. It's our perception. Some of it we've lived through, we got married, we did this, whatever. Like you both know, you saw it. But the behind the scenes and the narcissist lies So the information that we go off of, we don't even know if it's real. Like if we knew it was real, we'd have 75, 80%. Okay, this makes sense. There's a couple pieces missing, but and then we weed through the stuff we don't know if it's real. So not only are we trying to figure out 80% of something to accept 100% of what happened, we have all these add-ons. Did he sleep with her? Why was he at the store? Was he at the store because of the card? And he said he went to this. Did he really go to the mechanic or the tire store? He said he went to the mechanic, but when he say a tire store, like we're going through all these different things in our head and we're trying to figure out way more than just a breakup, which causes us to turn inward and we kind of let things go on the outside. So you're welcome. We'd be the ones others can hear giggling from 5 doors down. Can I tell you, it's probably still in my phone. My neighbor asked me if I was okay because I was laughing and I was inside, windows were closed, but yeah, he heard us laughing. That's so funny. I was hanging out with my friend. There's two of us. Uh, Two girls and her ma'am. We were just laughing like crazy. But I'm starting to reconnect with people and make new friends, and that's really helped. After abuse, Layla isolated and worked a lot, and it made sense that her brain is trying to put back together those puzzle pieces. And they're either torn up puzzle pieces, that you guys still put together, or they're just so scattered. Like you can put a puzzle together if all the pieces are in place. The more pieces you have, the clearer the picture will be. But we're wasting time chasing after or putting together minuscule little pieces to even get like a chunk piece. It's a lot more we're doing on our brain. And it's prolonged abuse. And we got to be careful what we do, to others. That's it. Um, narcissists within themselves had that cycle of, where they devalue after they, love bomb and build you up, and they have a cycle, but there's also a cycle throughout the families and generations, and they're abused, so they're not training their kids, so the kids try to be strong, and then but then they have resentment, but because of that resentment, it's bad. uh and Rashama, yeah, sometimes we do need new friends, and that's good. They say our personality is pretty much made up of the 5 people that we associate with. Associate with positive people, associate with people who care, associate with people with some things that are important to you. If it's important to them, you're not going to feel like there's, you know you're going to have a comfort to say what you like, what you don't like. When we crisscross, um, when we've gone through the CPTSD, we can be a little um, really wanting friends and over trying. We don't want to be like a narcissist that just tries to fit in. So they'll say lies or just mimic. Have people who are truly interested in the same things as you. It's feed off of each other's excitement. And you feel that something is not, yeah. Okay, so this is, I'm glad you said this, that yes, it's hard. I feel something is not clicking mentally, like I'm not sure what is right for me to do sometimes because of the abuse, I'm sure I'm strong, but the effects I can see on me. Yeah, I feel so old right now, um, just because of everything. And equally yoked people, those are your people. You're right. It's hard to trust after the abuse. That's the other thing we got going on. But yeah, keep open to new friendships. We have to look out for red flags, but we also have to give somebody a chance. You can't put your baggage onto somebody else. That's not fair. Um, Dog, yes. It is often difficult to distinguish a person's authenticity. So true. Yeah. And like I said, culturally too. I really liked that French exchange student, and I was a sarcastic. I met him when I was 16, a silly little teenager, who loved sarcasm. My brother grew up to be a professional comedian, so there is sarcasm in that. We don't mimic, but like, oh, it's really big. I don't even know how to say it, but he had no clue what I was talking about. So the the authenticity, if I said something, um, it it could be just a cultural or different personality thing. We really have to understand people, but sometimes we have to understand each and every one. Even the kids at my school today, I'm starting to get to know each and every one better. Um, are they not answering my question because they don't know it? Like if a kid is completely shut down, are they hungry? Are they unable to speak? Are they afraid I'm going to smack them? Which I don't, but or get yelled at? You know, uh, do they trust me? Because some of them, are skittish. Like, you know, I am a ENFP, I think. You think you're an EFMP? Why do you think that? Oops. Oh, hold on. I'm typing something. Um, so there's empathetic people. Yeah, some of the personality. It's an acronym: extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceiving. It's an abbreviation that people use. It refers to one of the 16 personality types. So yeah, there's people, sometimes it's weird. Some are intuitive, extroverted, and I am too. I'm also feeling and perceiving. Yeah, I might be too. I don't know. I got to take that test. Um, there's like enthusiastic, charismatic, charming, energetic, and independent. So um, I don't know how strong on those. There's times where things are good in moderation, but also I think you guys can tell too how you have changed. Your personality has changed. That they like big ideas and actions that reflect their sense of hope and goodwill towards others. They vibrate energy. Um, so, yeah, there's uh, it's often difficult. Yeah, the more they lean towards psychopathy, they are more slippery. Yeah, they're super dangerous when they don't care. I did some more studying on sociopathy versus psychopathy, and uh, the psychopathy is um, they literally have no remorse. They're born that way, and it's lifelong. They they really don't feel anything. I want to go more into what I was studying about the different sense. Um, the higher they are in the psychopathy, it changes their sense of smell. It's weird. So I really want to get into more of that stuff. It's very interesting. So stay tuned in the next episode or two or three. Uh, you feel like we were absolutely targeted because of our kindness perceived as weakness. And that's the thing that sucks. Because, yep, that's exactly what happened. Uh, in This is how I see it, and I could be wrong, but I see it as um, you know, they it's an easy target because we're kind. Like right now, if I need money and I'm in dire straits, I'm gonna go to what I consider somebody who's willing to help. You know, am I gonna go? Uh, I'll probably go to a church or charities are known to give. I'm not going to go from the opposite. A car dealership or something asking for money. I'm going to go to a church. They're more willing, possibly, to give me money than somebody who's all about making money. Um, so the narcissist kind of chooses who they settle in with. And it's just kind of in their mind, it makes sense. Kind of like it makes sense I go to a church instead of the car dealership for money. It made sense I went to her instead of him. Um, so it's easy because it works. Uh, and then we develop a relationship with them. And this is where it gets worse is we develop a relationship because they'll kind of go with the flow. They know social acceptable norms sometimes, but then once something happens or we say no to them, they either play the victim, like they like we don't know how to handle it. So we try to handle it and we're trying to communicate. And that's where things, uh, they don't like the ongoing stuff, um, us explaining things because for one thing, they love a challenge. So without the challenge, they're bored and they got to seek another challenge. So they use people in that sense because they just discard them. They have to be respected, but it's not two-way respect because they're focused on themselves. And they have to hide insecurity, so they're not communicating things. So our relationship, we're concerned about the relationship. And um, it is supply for them or status. Uh, and it'll be different to every other person. Sometimes it's out of desperation. A lot of times you see where people move in so quickly. Sometimes it's just I need a house or I'm I want to spend my money in different ways. So I'm going to live with someone so they can pay half the bills. Doesn't mean that they even want to live with the person, but they'll have a relationship with them because they know that person uh, wouldn't, wouldn't have somebody move in unless they were in a relationship. Um, and it is seen as a weakness. The more we say, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand you, the more we explain, the more we give them to attack, the more we say, I'm sorry. And then we start saying, thank you for calling me today. Like, you know, it makes like where it's like, you did me a favor. I'm so meek that you took the time out of your precious, precious day for little old me. Um, it's dangerous. I have no life as I am controlled by a woman that doesn't even let me speak to anyone. Yeah, horseman, that is not good. They shut you down, and I know what that's like. I have seen that, and live your life. Oh my gosh, yes, that's where you can't express yourself. You can't live your life. We need to. We don't. I'm the type where we have to accept. We're not always going to agree. Okay, you don't have to agree. Everything I've said today, don't have to agree. You guys want, you know, but respect each other. You know, you guys, um, I'm hoping probably appreciate that you can communicate with me, whether it's to correct me or to uh, understand me better or to tell me your story. Like people are social animals. We need that. And, you can't shut somebody down. You don't have to agree with it, but we have a need to have our needs validated and addressed, not necessarily met, but because we have to be strong. And there are certain needs that you know um, we can't take care of medical needs or things like that where we need help. But They come in already needing, they are broken or otherwise need. We give and give. Givers need to limit because takers never do. Yeah. And that's a lot of times where you get the discard. And that's when it hurts after you've given so much. And sometimes you don't even see it till the end. You get little feelings, um, or it goes through a transition where they start. It depends on a love relationship, parents. There's so many different variations. I can't even go to work anymore because she doesn't trust me, but actually I'm a good person. I've seen that too, where you can't win. Um, you need to go to work and then you take off, or but you also have to help me clean the house, and uh but yours, like, not wanting you to go to work because she probably. And that's the thing, like, if she's ever cheated on someone, her insecurities could be from that. Like, she's done it, why wouldn't you? Or um there's abandonment issues. I want to be real careful not to assume everybody on here that their person is a full-blown narcissistic personality disorder person. Some could be borderline. Women tend to be more borderline. Men tend to be more NPD. But she's definitely sounds controlling, but her controlling might be due to insecurities, abandonment issues that go a little deeper. We need to know where the deepness goes. She's cut me off from everyone. Um, yeah, they become all encompassing to where something's causing the trust issues or fear of abandonment, and she just feels that you know that's sad. I've seen that. She's even threatened to do stupid things if I go. Then she goes really nice with me for a day, then she's back to the same. A lot of them do threaten those stupid things that you're talking about. um, but I have an aunt that has tried committing suicide several times, and those were legit uh, attempts. And like ended up in the ICU. She rented out a hotel. She uh, felt she was gonna, like, she should have been dead. It just happened that the maid, like, it was, yeah. So some people do the stupid things, and others use it as a ploy or just say it. Sometimes they just say it, like, oh, I'm gonna go kill like, whether they mean it or not, and some make you believe it. um but be careful on that one. But you have to protect yourself. um when people start doing something like that, um either way, something's wrong. you know uh she even told my boss that I hate him when I don't. She's triangulating you. She's mad at you, so she wants somebody else mad at you. Like, I will control. I will punish. It's more punish. She'll punish you for something you didn't do. And sometimes too is uh, you could have. They make things up sometimes to where you didn't do anything wrong. It's just their perception or their mind telling them something, or a false memory, because it creates so many lies. They also have problems committing things to memory because you need an emotion connected with an action. Emotion. Um, I can escape with what she. I hear you. I have no one, but I had so many friends before. I can't escape her. Her ex told me she tried to stab him. Well, that right there, um, you know, dude, I worked at a bar where I knew a lady who she she got stabbed straight through her neck with a knife. And um I knew her before the stabbing, and she had a really unique tattoo that was probably about the size of this. Beautiful. I'm not into tattoos. You guys can do what you want. There are some pretty ones out. Probably the prettiest tattoo I ever saw is cat's face, and it just like shrunk. And it just was interesting how much weight she had lost in such a short time. And so we were talking. I was very concerned about her, but yeah, her ex or during the breakup stabbed her through her neck, and it was completely out. Um, and the reason I bring up the tattoo is that's how I recognized her, because we were close but not super. We could talk good when we saw each other. Maybe that's a better way to put it. So he chased after her. She had to run. She's running through, trying to find somebody to help her. She gets into a stranger's vehicle to take her to the hospital with this knife completely through her neck. So think about that. Some people do go berserk. Protect yourself. That is not a cool thing to threaten. Um, I did that Chinese proverb where, like I just said, that your thoughts become your words, your words become your actions, words become your actions, words become your actions. Uh, Not always, but she can control her words. You know, um, really think about that. So uh, he moved away and sent a letter to my work to warn you. I'm a man, but oh, it's okay, guys. That's the thing. Luckily, they're starting. I'm in America, horseman. I'm not sure where you are. Men aren't believed as much, you know. But men men need love. Men need to be heard. Men can be victims. Men can be raped uh, or abused, you know, or killed, used, whatever. So, some men are embarrassed. They don't want to report the female um, because of how society has made report. The cops are getting better about it, but you still see where the guy goes to jail. He tries or to the holding tank, whatever they do, where he's the one removed, you know. Uh, you try to report something and you're victimized again, and sometimes women, and it can flip flop either way, but women too with rape reports. Guys can be raped too. Probably, I don't know the statistics on how when men get raped, how that's seen. Um, and I'm thinking more male on female attacking the man, how that's perceived. It's not suicide. She threatens me with, okay, she says she will say things about me which are horrific and completely untrue if I leave. So yeah, that's that smear campaign. That's that smear campaign. And they do that just to punish you. You didn't do things my way, screw you. I'll make something up. There was a sociopath. I've been watching some of her YouTubes that, yeah, she purposely does stuff. So, they just want to destroy the person. Uh, you cross me, screw you. You know, my narcissist uses comfort and food to keep me stuck in the relationship. Um, so uh, I know mine used. He tried to control my weight, wanted me heavier, so he would um, change my food. But he even bought me a cat to make the place comfortable and cozy. And then I think he'd yell at you. Is that what? Oh, okay. I see your correction. Um, well, then it just flipped. Okay. Document everything from dog defender. Yes. Tape recordings. Get her to text or email. Tiny nanny cams. Oh, yeah. Nanny cams. Do they have a recording option on those? Yeah, they might. Horseman says, I have no one to turn to. Uh, I have no one to turn to. She is evil to me most of the time. She's told me if I ever leave her, she will go to the police. And okay, I told you, like Bebot. Um, it is so hard leaving. Yeah, but it's life changing. That's why it's hard, and the unknown gets scary. But we have some power in our destiny, and Dog Defender says for Ella to start a plan, contact a DV, which is a domestic violence support group. Local police should be able to help you escape. Trust me when I tell you it it gets worse. And Dog Defender's right. It can definitely get worse. Almost always. And in that desperation mode, uh, you know, the cops will help you for keepers of the peace. You can call them, it's free. I am in America. I don't know where you guys are. Um, but take someone with you. Don't be alone. Um, Definitely document things. If you're loading up your U-Haul, take pictures of what just everything. Uh, yeah, I don't like this, guys. Lottie, it's sad how much abuse you guys have gone through. So when she's really angry from Horseman, she leaves knives around the house to let me know what she's capable of. That's how trusting she is of you. She trusts you that you're not going to hide a knife and stab her. That's how much she knows she has power over you. She is not afraid of you. Um, and that's good. Like, don't kill people. But that that's an intimidation tactic. Uh, a scare tactic. Like that is so not cool. If she's purposely doing it. Like if she's lazy and left him on the kitchen counter, it's just not smart. Um, but usually I'm sure she doesn't do it on the good times. She does it after she's pissed. you know is there a pattern? Is there a pattern? Is she the lazy type where Sunday she's had a full week and running all weekend long partying, and every Sunday there's always a mess, or what's the mess of the knives? And where are they? Are they hidden in the bedroom? Are they hidden all over the house? So you go in the bathroom, you're scared, you go in the bedroom. What does she do if you take them out? Does she bitch at you for removing a knife from a bedroom? Uh, you know, but then, you play that, I'm scared what somebody breaks in. Yeah, but she's threatening. I'm thinking about just going to a local shelter. I know you're scared. But did you try talking? I know you're scared and you got kids involved. Or I'm sorry, Ella. I thought that was Samantha for a sec. But I know some people who have been in shelters. Uh, some of them can. There's different kinds, but it's a place that can really help you get back in contact with some resources. You'll have some food, some clothes. Um, at least call them. You can call them, see what's available, and sometimes they can help with your mental health too. Uh, I never went to this lady I talked to, but I saw the room because we FaceTimed, and um, it was fairly decent, but each one's different. I don't know. I knew another lady who was in Seattle, Washington. I never saw that room, but um, she was able to get back on her feet. So sometimes you just need that stepping stone. And I believe they said she could stay there until it's kind of until they help you get on your feet until then everything's different. I don't know enough about that, but I do know there's resources and um, yeah, there are resources. So Horseman says, I've got a loving family, but she even goes nuts if I'm on my phone to my very own mother. She's either afraid your mom's going to tell her what's up with your woman, or she's jealous that it's taking time away from her. She might feel that your mom sees through her BS and is going to call her out on it, or she's scared you're going to say something to mom to make her in a bad light, and she doesn't want to feel that. um, Dog Defender says it is, but honestly, Ella, it is far more difficult to stay. Yeah. Like we say, we're talking about the differences of abuse level, but hers is, yeah, Ella, yours is getting up there, you know. um, it's not just lying. uh, it's yeah. And you sent me, oh, I'm sorry. I got to remember, um, Ella. Uh, I get you and Samantha, totally different names. Um, but sorry about that. But yeah, true. My mental health has been deteriorating this last 6 years. I have no children, no wedding, no ring, no car, no nothing, and you know that's kind of good. It's kind of good. Um, not th- and I want you to hear this is you can start fresh. You can start fresh. I know it's hard without a car, um, but a wedding, a ring, I get what you're saying. It is hard doing things on our own. Um, some of us have a real strong desire for children, and it's hard not having them if we want them, but it would be um, harder with children. So you'll be accepted at more places, and uh, the no wedding, the no ring. Um, the right person will come, and if they don't come, you're escaping. We have to. I think it was Jordan Peterson said something that's really interesting. It was in reverse. It was about a man wanting a woman, where the man said that what is wrong with all these women? Um, None of them will date me. What's wrong with all the women? And Jordan Peterson said, maybe you need to look within. Um, so we need to look within. Are we putting ourselves out there? Are we letting people get to know us? Uh, do we check ourselves? This is why it's important to heal, because we don't want to bring baggage into the new relationship. We don't want to bring people down. We're allowed to go through our emotions, so when you're in a partnership, you deal with it together. Um, but and then the questioning for hours afterwards, yeah, they'll even wake you up to question you about things. I wish this wouldn't flip flop on me, because then it's really hard. Who would you call first? Okay. Either a whole bunch just came through. Um, you would like that. Dr. Romney is one of the first ones that I've listened to. Yeah. She's kind of calming. Uh, she has that cat on her lap sometimes too. Let me try to find. Um, I know, Ella. I see your sad face. Samantha says, my husband makes stuff up and tries to blame shift. There's a lot of that they love to do. Gets confusing because you don't know how to fight back. Even just, debate type fight back that they just make stuff up. See, I won. You're like, how did that work? To be honest, here in LA, people are heartless and superficial, especially about these types of situations. I went to LA. Big cities are a little different than small towns. A lot more entitlement or stress. Oh, it's a lot more expensive. People are under stress. Stress can, that can cause anxiety and depression. Like, yeah, there's so much mental illness out there. Um, Dog Defender, yes. Dr. Ramini is very good. So Ella likes them too. Horseman, please look up Melanie, Tanya Evans, Australia, AUS is Australia, and Angie Atkinson was UK. Yeah, she just recently passed away, but she is still available. I did a tribute to her because she's touched my heart, a lot of other people's heart. Um, very dedicated and knowledgeable. Uh, she has it from an educational standpoint where she has done some research, but she's also a survivor. Passed away now, but she's a survivor of the abuse. And Ella, yeah, follow Dr. Ramani. Um, so yeah, um, you're so lucky to not have a child with these monsters. Are you in Louisiana or Los Angeles? Yeah, Los Angeles. Good question. Yeah, we got to remember that. I can't do any. Horseman says, I can't do anything she says without me. There's no point in living. I can't even go to the local shop on my own. She kicks and punches me just simply for not telling her why my phone's moved. So you guys got trackers on your phones, is what I'm thinking. Uh, am I correct on that? That's this new thing that I'm starting to see more and more. Because I'm assuming that's what you mean, that she can tell where you are. Uh, and that's, an insecure trust issue. There's something that's causing a lack of trust. And often, it could be baggage from before. It's not even necessarily anything you did. And that's why it gets so frustrating. Let's say you never cheated. Okay. So you gave her no reason. You're not flirting. You're not doing this. You're on the up and up. You come home all the time, tell her you love her. And she has a fear. So she's going to change your life for her fear. And if you think about it, is it really fair to you to change your life? I mean, we compromise, but it gets to the point that it's all encompassing almost, and we have no life anymore. Uh, uh, Ella says Los Angeles is evil right now. Two people in my situation. Horseman, who would you call first? Uh, Dog Defender Ella, I'm close by. Message retracted. Uh, Horseman says, I don't want to leave, and she does something terrible. Dog Defender, there are solid shelters. I will give you my 50s list, 50-foot list. Um, so I think you're saying you have a long line of some good shelters out there. Horseman, uh, show her who's the man and leave. I know it's easier said than done, but you will feel like a new man without her. Um, it does take time. It does take time, but you will get your freedom back. You will be, yeah, I am living life again because, you feel that tension. of her trying to control you, and you don't like that tension. So you're either going to settle in to her controlling you, or you're going to break free. If you stay where it is now, you're always going to feel that tension, stress, uncomfortable. And, that's where you're at with that relationship, in my opinion. But you have, get to the root of that problem. Like I say, that I don't know all your situations 100%. So I want to make sure I get the best advice and get to the root of the problem. But you see across all these narcissistic relationships patterns: the ghosting, the devaluation, the lying, manipulation, flying monkeys. How come they're all, this is what blows my mind, is they're all instantly in love with no crying or sadness, or and now they're gonna marry someone else. Like, can't you even take like a month? Can't you even take a day to be sad about? It's weird. And they can feel sadness, but it's different. It's different. uh so and to be honest, you know we do need to stand up for ourselves. We definitely do. um I've tried to be just friends, but the last time she beat me around my face, so I couldn't even show my face, is so embarrassing. Were you romantic with her and then just friends? And you just tried to be friends after you broke up? Is that what you're trying to say? Or you just wanted to be friends and she didn't like that? Uh, Horseman, if you were in the UK, GB, Great Britain, Great. I don't know what the GB means. It's in little letters, so I don't know what that. I've never seen them shrink down like that. Coercive control is a punishable crime in your area. Coercive control is a punishable crime in your area. Yeah. Um, I believe there's certain, we're starting to get some of that in America a little bit more. Uh, I believe. I don't want to. I don't want to state my life on it. I'm too tired to think of an example of one. I believe there is though. I've our shelters. Are shelters safe for women? I hear horror stories and I'm so scared. Um, Everything's going to be, you know, just like hotels. Are hotels safe? Depends on the area, depends on who's running it. So you need to do some research on your area, you know. Uh, but the one my uh, the two people I know, um, the one in Seattle, Washington, she had to have everything turned in, and she had to turn in her belongings, and they just made sure there were no like fleas or bed bugs. So they kind of like washed her stuff 5 times or something like that. And if not, I think they go through a heat type thing. So, they just make sure, since there's so many people, that they take care of the bug infestation. And she sold costumes for me. She was a traveling lady. And, she just left the stuff in her car because she didn't want to have it going through that cleaning process. And she never had problems. They kept it clean, bug free, or took care of anything. Just like our houses, you might get an ant or two. Thanks, dog, but it's not as easy for me to just run. So dog says, No, never be embarrassed for the toxic behaviors of others. And Ella, I believe there are some. I will give you all the info I have. Yeah, um, that's great. That anything you can give, that's fantastic. And she's so thankful. So it's hard standing up for ourselves. We start doing that cognitive dissonance where we, the outcome, is this the best and is it safe? We start justifying sometimes too, like, and a lot of times we go for the easier thing. We go for the easier thing. It's not that easy to leave. It's not that easy to stand up. You know, uh, I hate it when it moves. Why does it do that? I think maybe you guys enter at the same put something in at the same time. So I can only call them. So yeah, it's good to have a good family, and that helps. So maybe they can help. You only call them when she's there, so I have to make everything sound great to my mom. So you need to call when she's not there, you know. Uh, but I know they can be really controlling. But is there a way that you can rebuild your relationship with your mom? Because you're letting her, she's taking you out of your connection with your mom, leaving you alone. They get us to isolate, and then our parents are going to feel like we care about them, and it just makes it easy for the opposite to the narcissist to manipulate. Women like that are so scary and masculine. Yeah, and um, it's like the masculine is like the dominant. So she wants to be dominant, not in dual or submissive relationship. Um, so Ella, I have a dress and a ring. Oh, I thought you were. Um, I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were going to say for her. I have a dress and a ring. He destroyed my credit, took equity out of my house. When we met, I had it all. Truly. Then the vampire in him stole everything, one drop of blood at a time. And yeah, uh, dog defender. Yeah, I had an engagement ring. He called off before the wedding. Wanted to postpone it, but I had the dress, I had the ring. I didn't have the wedding. Paid for it. Yep, with deposits and stuff. I think it was $10,000 we lost out on. We didn't pay it all, but that's what we lost. We lost 10,000. He didn't think anything of it. You know, uh, took equity out of my house, and yeah, um, my sister's husband did that too, where he remodeled their kitchen. I think it was a $40,000 remodel, and um, I think it was 2008 that kind of messed it up, where the houses. I don't know the year, but I know what happened. I think it was 2008, the housing bubble. Uh, that um, sorry, my uncle won the Nobel Prize for predicting the housing crash, so it's kind of like I try not to talk about it, but I think it's cool. But he, the $40,000 rehab, um, and then the house was upside down in the mortgage, and what did they lose? Oh, I think it was like they lost like $145,000, sold it for like 13,000. 13,000. or did it go down to 6? I don't know, but she had to pay off this $40,000 um, kitchen, and the housing market flip-flopped everything, and her area went down real quick. Um, it was real close to 8 Mile, which if you know Eminem sings about 8 Mile in Detroit, and she was, can't remember if she's 3/4 or 9.5 mile. If she, she was after 9 Mile. I know driving to her house, but can't remember. She's just a little after 9 Mile, a little before. But Detroit started coming up this way, and it just went down real quick. Plus mortgage stuff, but um, it is easier sometimes, and it's also scarier when we don't have family. So yes, but all her videos are still up. Yeah, yes. I see. Thanks for encouragement, and I'm sure you're still talking about Angie, which is fine. I might have lost where your thread came in or came in later, but all her videos are still up. And what's kind of nice is sometimes too, YouTube will get you to suggested videos. So based on your search history, um, you know, it it gives you suggestions. She's pretty good too sometimes with just the way she puts things together. And yeah, rest in peace. Like I was in shock. I didn't think yeah, I had to fact check on that one. I was like, is this real? Because that's the thing too. We can't even trust the internet. And I got I don't know what the right word legitimate confirmation from her family, but I did hours of research before uh, for making sure it was real. She's really attractive, but has issues her ex put in the letter he sent to my work warning me. She has been on some antipsychotic pills for her depression and hides her past. She beat him too. So she's got a lot. And now this is the thing. Antipsychotic. Not, and she hides her past. You don't even know what she's capable of. And sometimes too, like, people don't like taking their medications. Sometimes it's because they're too expensive. I had a neighbor who had schizophrenia, didn't want to take it because her lithium, because she gained weight on it. Some medications bloat you up in society. If they want you to be thin and you're insecure, uh, you know, and it goes all different ways. Don't They can slip any tracker in pocket or air tags. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Yep. And yeah, there's a lot of that shady stuff going. Yeah, you can even, just pop up and hide it in. Yeah. Okay. I see. I'm not shady enough, and I've been single too long. But I started seeing like everybody's like connected on their phones. Um, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's on the down low, but the ones I've seen are on the up and up, where they're it's not a healthy relationship. It's because they don't trust each other. Uh, I was 24 when he found me. I was going to the gym every day and worked at a local store. He was 44 and promised me a good life. I can't believe I believed him. Yeah, that's 20 years of your life. And oh, wait, I'm sorry. And he was 44. Sorry. And promised me a good life. Sorry, I misread that, Ella. Uh, Kind of interesting he found you at a gym. Uh, when he found me, I'm starting to get tired. I'll talk for a little bit longer. I told you about my notes and stuff. I'm starting to get tired. I was 24 when he found me. And then I was going to the gym every day. There's no period, so I didn't pick up on it. And and that's fine. I type like that too a lot. And worked at a local store. He was 44 and promised me a good life. And, you know, your statement, I can't believe I believed him. That says something because we do that. Like, what is wrong with me? Why did I let, you know, we're punishing ourselves. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid. Um, you know, that's, don't beat yourself up. Uh, you know, it's sad we can't trust people's promises. uh, or you know, there's times that, yes, we have to understand sometimes things do get in the way, but the discard is more than just something got in the way, and it destroys lives. So dog defender says, horseman, ugly on the inside, always comes through. Yeah, she's really attractive, horseman says, but those issues, she, you know, she's trying to destroy your life. That's not very pretty on the inside. And uh, it does come out. It will come out. Uh, Rears her ugly head, even if it's covered in pretty lipstick and hairspray. Beauty on the outside doesn't, like, isn't gonna, if somebody doesn't have your back, you know, there's some ugly people who you know, would be much more, and I'm nobody in specific, people who aren't as pleasing, um, people who aren't as pleasing will really protect you, at least your heart. They'll give you what they can. um, yeah, because I remember too, there was this one lady, she's absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, why does she get divorced? Kind of like, she's so pretty. Well, yeah, I don't know who was, if he left her or whatever. She was just a really beautiful woman, and is like, oh, kind of, you know, that's a little. Uh, she just stood out, and I just kind of didn't understand. But as I got older, I was probably 18 when I had that thought. But then you realize, yeah, that's not about being beautiful. Unapologetic Ella, she found me in a bar. She was great for the first month, but her anger was showing from then. I couldn't even look at the woman in the shop when I got my shopping without her. And that's how we feel controlled sometimes, too. Sometimes they don't even have to do anything. I started changing my, just to avoid certain situations. And uh, recently he started comparing me to his twin daughters, who are 3 years old. Then me saying I'm jealous of them because they are hotter than me, hotter than me, and tall. I'm only 4'11" and self-conscious. Oh, is he trying to say that the little 3-year-olds are taller and hotter? Is that what he's been saying? I'm jealous of them because they are hot. Okay. Yeah, like, that's messed up. I'm 6'1", so I know mine's the opposite on feeling like height matters. So you're 4'11" and I'm 6'1". But yeah, it's like, you know, especially in your situation, I am kind of curious if that's a little harder to hear height type things, because you want to feel like a grown woman and they're comparing you to a 3-year-old. You know, me, I'm just tall, but, you know, I'm not seen as a, you know, there's no you're a child type teasing. And I'm sure, uh, you know, I'm as, you know, that people in your situation sometimes have people who make you feel self-conscious. It's either coming from within you, or that's probably from the teasing. If, let me know if I'm incorrect, but Unapologetic Ellen. She found me in a bar. She was great. Oh, I read that. Accusations, agreeing, uh, horseman's agreeing to dog defender and saying how scary it is. So, Horseman is John off a film called Misery. Hmm. My friends call me John. Okay. I've heard that phrase, that movie line. I don't think I've seen Misery. Or if I did, I don't know what it's about. She's completely nuts. Stand up for yourself. If you don't stand up for yourself, it is going to get worse. I know Angie will guide me from heaven in my escape. Uh, you're welcome. And oh, thank you so much. I really, just want you to find some peace, and Angie will help you. I like to kind of help you like in a personal way, because that's where it's hard to get our answers when there's so many different types of narcissists and types of scenarios and types of situations. And so I'm glad that you've been able to uh, so Samantha says, what a lie, it's just a cop out. Ella, you're gorgeous, and you can I can see a little thumbnail, but you are beautiful, you know, and me. Is it J-E or J? Uh, or J? Is it J? If that's J, that's a cool way to spell J-E. You know me. How do you know me? My little YouTube fan club of, uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that podcast I got asked to do. Yeah, J-E. Good to see you. I just wish I knew how to um, say some of these names. Long time. Oh, J-E. Long time no see. How are you, J-E? Are you there? Oh, I'm sorry. I owe you an apology. Um, oh, I feel bad, J-E. Don't be sad. I'm sorry. Um, but how long have you endured this? Long time. Um, I'm getting a little confused where this is. I see hi. Uh, and I okay. But thank you. It did the screen thing, but thank you everyone. I'll be okay. Life throws us curveballs. I have not had my share. I'm a survivor. Yes, I love it when you guys say that. Soul survivor. I am a survivor of this narcissistic abuse. Paris, Parasizzles. Parasizzles is what we're going to go with. I hope I said it right. I've never been to Paris. That'd be cool. And going on 7 years now, separated. It wasn't until I moved out did my healing truly start. I love my peace of heart and mind today. And this shows you right here that there is hope, that when you do take control of your life back, they love the peace and heart and the mind. So it does transform you into a more peaceful person. Dog Defender says, please be very careful because you deserve so much better. And Samantha's 532. But yeah, we definitely have to remember what our worth is and not to let somebody take that away from us. So Samantha, I know you're feeling it from the opposite spectrum, but the same as they are. And it is good to be here for you guys. Oh, I hope it's helping. I feel it is. I've seen some pretty traumatic stories start to turn around, And you're the second person who asked if I'm in school. I'm a teacher at a school. I am not at my school. I'm at my house. I need to change this. Um, but everything's all hooked up to my Ethernet. That's why I don't like moving and the webcam and everything. I also teach online. So this is my like pretend classroom. So welcome to my classroom. And then over there, I got like my blackboard or whiteboard and just a different setup. So I'm a online teacher as well. But art teacher now, used to be a gym teacher, used to be a college professor. I like teaching. So Rashama, I'm glad you're still here. Look at that ladybug. Ladybugs can fly free and have a beautiful life and go wherever they want to go. And, um, you know, there, like Paris Sizzle says, there definitely is hope. I lost hope while I was. This is what they're saying. And if I say she, he, sometimes I can't really see pictures or sometimes, so I apologize if I say the wrong thing. But I lost hope while I was with him. So being abused physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. God bless you all. And I like how you say that, that this is all inclusive, that we all went through some stuff and to be here for each other. And Horseman Samantha, letting you stand up for yourself. And you have school tomorrow. I do too. We have a music program. It's almost 9 p.m. here. It's not super late. I don't know where Zeke is. And Rashema. Oh, you were a substitute teacher. Yeah, so decorate your spare bedroom. And Zeke is in New Jersey. Um, Ella, you don't owe anyone anything. Your focus really should not be focused on anything else. Please put yourself first. Yeah, and with Samantha too. She's got little ones, but Ella, this is where the balance is. Sometimes, it is easier when you don't have kids. But I was talking with Samantha too, though, that we have to realize, when we want to protect our kids, but we're focusing on ourselves, and we need to focus on ourselves, but we got to take care of our kids, and we need that empathy. Um, when we have to focus on the difference between wants and needs. And, uh, you know, there's definitely a time when you need to get out. Um, that it's it's scary. How physically abusive people can be. How I you know I don't know. I don't want to do like scary stories, but there are scary stories. So just protect yourself. Protect yourself. Um, she's waking up. I have to go now. Can I speak to you again sometime? I'll be coming on in the dinner time or so. I have to buy. I think it's going to cost $1,000 to keep this going on this channel. This I don't know if I want this software because I don't know. So I have to do some research, but I still have like another 10 hours or so. So I'll put something up for tomorrow, and then why don't we plan what tomorrow? I can do another 5:30 tomorrow and go to like 9. I think I can. I got to double check. So if you guys want to touch base with each other again, you can meet up. Horseman, chin up. Documents, stay safe. Do not engage in any shenanigans. We have to set our boundaries. And dog defenders, uh, the, Kimberly, there. Good thing I scrolled up, so I know that's Paris Sizzles. Hi, Kimberly. So, Okay. So you're West Coast, as long as it's PM. Say hi to Uncle Eric. I have family out that way, somewhere. I don't know exactly where you are. Uh, Today, I love myself. Kimberly or Paris Sizzle says, they can't love and they have no peace. It's sad. You cannot save them. Their life choices are not your fault. And their life choices affect us. And that's where it starts hurting because they didn't consider us. And, or they lied about it. So they deceived us. I walked out when my kids were babies. It was a mama bear in action. Um, yeah, yeah, we see what they can do to people. And I can see Dog Defender. You kind of know what's up. Uh, I can tell you're strong by some of your wording. Uh, and that's good. That's good. Kimberly said, I had to escape with my life. We have 4 children together. They are grown now. He alienates me from them today. And that's the thing. Some of us stay. I really listen to this. Some of us stay because we don't want to be without our kids. So we stay, and or even the 50-50 custody, we don't want that. We want the full. Um, but if we stay, and Samantha, I hope you're still here. If you stay for your kids, a lot of times the kids end up hating you because they're manipulated too. And you're the weak one in their eyes. And, it destroys your relationship. If not, he alienates me from them, either like if they're grown, you know, he's obviously said some bad things or played the victim like, no, you need to come to my house, like I'm having heart issues and it might be my last Thanksgiving, you got it. And it's nothing's wrong with his heart, he just wants the kids not at her house, might not even want the kids at his house, just doesn't want her to have what she wants. um they sure do affect you, they will not change, but you sure do. Yeah, they can get better at their techniques. um they they they, they don't change for the better. We'll put it that way. Um, and unfortunately, this is the thing. The, there's cycles. There are cycles with the narcissist. Sometimes they try, sometimes they don't. But it's the triggers. And it, if our mind's not working the right way, we're not making the right decisions. I could give you a math test. If your mind's not going to work the right way, it's not going to process the problems and put it through. So that's kind of like with the relationship. It's not processing, it's not going to get the right answer. It's the brain has to work. You stay too long. This therapist said the other day, you didn't cause this and you cannot cure it. So please spare yourself the extended stay in the black hole. And yeah, it is extended because we ruminate. We talked about that. And, you know, um, it's so true. Like a lot of us are beating ourselves up. Like, what did I do wrong? Or how could I have fixed it? Or why did I say this? And we didn't cause it. A brain malfunction did, you know? Um, or however you want to word it, brain damage. Looks are just superficial as long as you're a good person who cares. And I see this too. Like, I see a lot where you're not necessarily desirable or top according to society's desirable. They got some good marriages, some of them, it's not about the looks. And it sometimes with the looks, with the pretty privilege, they're used to getting their way, they're used to using it. and that fades. So their little magic technique is going to go anyways. Um, but their attitude's not, unless they get knocked down real hard. Um, he bought yours with cash. How many times, Javier? And this is, it's either Javier, Javier called me fat and disgusting pig, and that he's too good for me. Yeah. Um, Children deserve a peaceful environment. I definitely did the right thing by leaving the narcissist. And uh, Kimberly or Paris Sizzles, yes, my children are coming around. I talked to 2 of them. Leave if you can, sooner than later. Uh, you made the best decision by leaving. Um, I found out that I am an empath. That's how I found out he is a narcissist. Time served. I feel you. I got my cop hat up there. um, yeah, we put our time in. We don't need to suffer anymore. Time served. And I like that light bulb. Like, let's get it together. And like, yeah, that is how we find out people. Like, we're empathetic, and we're trying to understand. We're trying to understand our person, which is trying to connect with them, trying to understand, and find out. Oh, I think a lot of us found from searching. Uh, you know, um, I'm going to read that one more time. You didn't cause this, and you cannot cure it. So please spare yourself the extended stay in the black hole, because it does. Somebody else is starting to affect us. And just like you were saying, where was it? Horseman. Um, yeah, okay. Horseman's not with us. He'll probably. I went. Okay, I knew I missed one. I went through the 5 stages of grief, and now out on the other side, there is life after the narcissist. Um, yeah, we have to go through those 5 stages of grief, or you get stuck. And Ella, you don't owe anyone anything. Your focus really should not be focused on anything else. Put yourself first. And we kind of need to take care of ourselves, because you can only take care of other people, you know, um, like maybe this will help if Samantha's still here. And some of you, like Anne Frank, she was in the concentration camp that um, the Jewish girl who was hid out. The diary of Anne Frank. Thanks, I couldn't think the word diary. So she was in hiding, and after they were captured, they were taken to the concentration camps. And the 2 girls, Margot and her sister, um, got separated from the mom, and the mom saved her food, hoping these girls would come back, because rations were really tight, and she made sure she saved her food, and she died. Um, she ended up, like starvation, and that's a loving thing to do. But if you do it to the extreme that it kills you, she was gone. She couldn't continue to try to save, to meet up with them. We have to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. Um, ration out a little bit, you know, give what we can give, but don't overdo it to where it's depleting us. So invest in the people who are going to invest back. And sometimes we don't find out for years. So let me scroll down. Yeah. Yep, we got a warrior in the room. I listened to Angie's video where she recorded. Yes. Um, and you're the second person who tonight has said something about that. That listening to Angie Atkinson, that's the one I did the rest in peace video on. She recorded her husband, and it just does. It can bring you to tears. You can, yeah, and we got to watch out for our trigger warnings too. You can't pour from an empty cup. Yes. Um, Yeah, and I had the analogy too where uh are they going to fill us back up? They're kind of empty. We're giving, but I take it as a narcissist is it stays poor, like Dog Defender is saying, because imagine having all these holes. Each hole in your cup, little poke throughs, are from damage, from emotional damage. So you're pouring water in and the water is seeping out. So the more you pour, it's just going to come out. The more holes, the more damage, the more emotional abuse, the quicker it's going to deplete. And it's, the quicker in between tantrums and more draining on you because they need it full. And, we have needs too. There is nothing, you shouldn't feel guilty that you have needs too. We're willing to compromise. And, you know, um, I'm pretty easygoing, but it's so weird how uh, uh, he he was saying his. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He was saying his daughters, who are 3 years older than that. Okay, I get it. I get. Took me a minute. Yeah, not cool. Oh, yeah, that's not cool. That's like, oh my gosh. Um, that's really weird. That like Trump said that about Ivanka. Like I date her. It's just weird about his own daughter. Like it's weird. Um, so the Holocaust survivors are the best teachers. Edith is, out of respect, I don't know if it's Eva or Ava Edger. She's the oldest survivor, I believe, still alive. She's a therapist. I love her. Ooh, Edith. I'm assuming Ava. Edith. I think. I don't know. Edith Ava. But yes, thank you for sharing that. Uh, Egger is what I'm thinking. Eger. I could be wrong. Um, that would be interesting, huh? And when out of respect for the Anne Frank, the person who found the diary and gave it to the father, she didn't know what was all said. And she had said that if she ever knew what was in that diary, she would have burnt it because it kind of incriminated her, kind of let everybody know what was up. But that Anne Frank is the second most sold book in in the world. Only the Bible is above the copies of Anne Frank, at least at the time of when I did my slides a couple years ago. Uh, you recorded your husband too. I still have thousands. Is it thousands of hours? It could be, but I'm assuming you mean a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot of. But you could have thousands of. Um, but maybe it will be useful one day, and I don't mean that in a respectful way. Um, it's just sometimes I struggle with. This is what I'm working on, where uh, We say never, always, I'm working on that with the kids where I'm like, you guys need to, um, but they take it differently than I mean it. So, uh, not everybody's perfect. We can't help anyone who has a hole in the bucket, especially an endless hole that's unsealable. The trauma bond is the hardest to break, but we have to let go to be free. If you wait for them to see truth or apologize, you will surely die in their clutch. Yeah, they're full blown NPD. Um, yeah, their apologies uh, are about as deep in meaning as when I tell the kids at school and they're sorry, I don't really. And then they like get angry and then they forget it, forget the incidents, and that's another way to see how they forget things and until they're bored or triggered. If you wait for them to see the truth, um, yeah, you will surely die in their clutch. Poor Angie, she went through so much and she used her experience to help others. She deserves the best. Yeah. Um, she was one of the pioneer narcissistic channels, and I've seen her grow over the years. Um, and I mentioned in my tribute, I think you guys saw that, where I redid it, so I'm not sure if it's in the one you saw it. I hope it is. Um, where she was really dedicated to helping us. That there was a period of time where you saw like a screenshot of like a beautiful waterfall or running water, like I don't know how to describe it, like a nature scene. And she would talk over it. So you see this beautiful picture of trickling water. She would just talk, or there'd be different scenes. She did it more than once. And I was kind of wondering, does she have some possible facial surgery or is she sick? But she was a trooper, it was quite a quite a while that she had that. And there was a reason she put a screen up, and she wasn't shy in front of a camera. She was very well presented. So she, yeah, she's extra special. You were trauma bonded. Oh, you might, yeah, yeah. So sorry, if I invalidated your actual words. And this is where it gets tricky. Like I'm trying to be respectful, and I was hoping for clarification, which this is the healthy way to handle it, to clarify. Like it's okay to ask, or um, it's not good to assume what other people are saying, and if you know, so thank you for clarifying that. And yeah, sometimes it does. There's different stages where I know it can be almost nonstop. It helped me at that time to feel safe. My private investigator told me to at that time. Most times I feel emotionally numb towards him. I'm going to leave this week, even if to a shelter. Yeah, I mean, with thousands of hours and oh, the thousands of hours as Paris Sizzles, Kimberly, and Ella. So, so I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. They feel you realize you're emotionally numb, and you're going to leave this week, even if it's to a shelter. So keep in contact. Um, there. It helped me at that time to feel safe. My private investigator. Oh, so true. I wish I could bail with you. Please email me so I can give you the info, or I can send it to Cynthia. Yeah, either way. I'll go ahead and type my email, and then you guys can contact me this way if you I don't know if you guys are connected in some way or would like to connect, but this way you guys can kind of have a middleman if you would like, or you're welcome to, but that way you don't have to post your emails. You can ask me to forward. You're welcome. Make sure I spelled it right. So, okay, so you have a psychology degree uh, and love research. I love the research too. Today I journal, research, read. I can't get enough of this truth. And I agree. Like, yeah. I even went back and tested for state certification in psychology. You started reading your comments, sharing your transparency and truth. It was then I knew I was not crazy and alone. My heart feels your heart. Sorry you all went through this or still in it. Um, and that I started reading your comments. Is that regarding me or is that regarding somebody else? Um, on reading the comments. So I crave peace, quiet, and calm. It helps me. Um, and as long as uh, it's the good craving, because yes, if it's helping you, that's good. But sometimes when it's like depression based and unmotivating, we have to kind of keep that in check. But if it's helping, that's really good. And sometimes too, we just need that break of I just need a piece, a small piece of quietness. So yeah. Oh, you're welcome. No, I can understand it. And Kimberly's, it's like we're all going through all this stuff. And dog defender, yes, please. Any shelter that's safe. I've heard scary stories about both shelters and Hoover taxis. Is there a Hoover taxi? Are you trying to say Uber? I don't know if your voice speaking. I've never heard of Hoover taxis. So I'm just, is there something? Um, so, no, I'm glad I've been able to be here. Dog Defender, thank you from Ella. Yeah, and that's what's so nice about this is we start having like a community where we are helping each other. So connecting. And I have a big, huge day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to sign off. But if you guys want to say anything, please say it now. There's something that you need. Uh, but if you guys would like to connect that way, I'll allow that. And this video should be posted so you can go back and look through tonight's video to see it if you didn't write it down. Oh, yeah, and I do hope it helps. I appreciate that. And yeah, we try to be transparent and truthful. Like, isn't that nice? Surprise, there are truthful people. So big hugs, yeah. And yeah, I like how you said my heart feels your heart. Yeah, when you're empathetic, you feel that. It's a true connection. It's something like my sister and I, if if I hurt my knee or my hip, she'll know, she'll feel, she'll sense. And twins have done that too. They can have this like sense, and we feel each other. We feel each other. All right. Well, you guys take care, and I can't wait. And it helps you too. Good. Good night, friends. Bye, guys. Aw. All right. Well, take care. Bye. Thank you.